Good evening, everyone. I'm going to call this evening meeting to order. It is February 23rd, 2022. It's 5:30. We're here in the city of Deltona in the Commission chambers. And our next item that we always do is we do what's called a roll call. And it's for the record, and it's so that everyone that might be reading the minutes or figuring out who was here at this meeting can know who the officers are. And I'm going to start out with myself. My name is William Reichman. I'm an attorney. I've been practicing for about 40 years. I specialize in local government law, including code enforcement. And I was appointed by the City Commission of the City of Deltona to act in the capacity as the special magistrate. That capacity is created by the Florida law under the Chapter 162 in the City of Deltona Code of Ordinances. And I act as in a quasi-judicial capacity to make determinations of fact and conclusions of law. So with that, we're gonna go around to my right and have everyone introduce themselves, the code enforcement officers. So if we could start to my right, sir.
Richard Lovett, Code Compliance.
Byron San Miguel, hearing clerk.
Mark Gibson, Code Compliance Supervisor.
Dennis Muse, Code Compliance Officer.
Bashir Turkzy, Code Compliance.
Steve Brockhoff, Code Compliance Officer.
Mary Laracy, Code Compliance Officer.
Danny Rod, Code Compliance Supervisor.
Jessica, Code Compliance Officer.
Ron Paradise, Community Services.
Sharon Chivers, Fire Department.
Thank you, folks. Now, if everyone would please stand, we're going to pledge allegiance to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
A couple announcements. First of all, let me tell you a little bit about what we're doing here today. This is code enforcement. That means that the city has the burden to go forward and establish on the record what code is applicable and how a particular property they allege is in violation of that code. Everyone will be testifying under oath. I'm going to swear everyone in a bit. Ultimately, my job is to make my decision only based upon the evidence that I hear this evening. I have not received any what are called ex parte communications. And what that means, folks, is that I don't know anything about these cases until we get to your case tonight. I haven't talked with any code enforcement officer. I haven't talked with any of you. So what you hear tonight for the first time will be exactly what I hear for the first time this evening. When we get going, we're going to call the cases where people are here first. We've got a pretty long agenda, but some of you are here, so we're going to hear those first so we can get you out of here and get you home to your lives. The city always goes first. That's their job because it's their burden to go forward with proof. Once the city is done with their presentation, whatever evidence that may be, it could be photographs, it could be documents or letters, usually it's primarily testimony. When they're done, they'll tell me so, and then when it's your case, I will call you up. And folks, where you're going to go is see that little podium right there with that microphone? That's where you're going to go when it's your case, when it's your time to come up and tell me what you want me to hear about your case. The first thing I need for you to do when we get to that point is just tell me your name and your address, and then I want to hear what you want me to hear. This is not in the nature of a full-on court proceeding. We don't follow the formal rules of evidence, but we are required to follow due process. And what that means is that all of you have been notified of the violation, have been notified of the hearing consistent with Florida law. That's Chapter 162. And we are going to make sure that in addition to that notice, that you will have the opportunity to make sure that your testimony is heard by the fact finder. And that's me. That's my job is to be fairly open and understand both sides of each case. I have already reviewed and approved tonight's agenda and have approved the minutes from the last meeting. I do want to announce that there are two cases that have been withdrawn. Those are case 2237 and 2274. So with that, Whoever is going to testify this evening, could you please stand and raise your right hand, and I will swear you in. If you're going to testify this evening, please stand and raise your right hand. Anybody that's going to testify, you swear or affirm that the testimony you provide tonight will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I do. Thank you. All right. These are the same? Okay. First case is DEL 22039, 930 Radcliffe Street. Respondents Nilda Hernandez, and I apologize if I mispronounced your name, Anario Hernandez, 930 Radcliffe Street. Hang on just a second, let me get there. Okay. City ready to proceed?
Yes, I am. My name is Bashir Cherkzi. I am employed by the City of Deltona as a Code Compliance Officer. This case will be number DEL 22039, the City of Deltona versus Hernandez Nilda and Hernandez Honorio. The property address is 930 Radcliffe Street. The parcel ID number is 81 30 30 17 0090. This violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18.5, which adopting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 304.7, which states the roof and flashing shall be sound, tight, and not have defects that admit rain. Corrective action for said violation is to repair or replace the roof, gutters, and soffits. Statutory requirements. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notification of hearing and notice of code violation being sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's record. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. This case was a proactive case and was opened on January the 25th concerning a roof and disrepair. A notice of violation was posted the same day, and the resident was given until February the 1st to fix the roof. No contact was made by the resident. Upon reinspection, the roof was still in violation. The city would like to request 10 days for the property to come into compliance, or a fine of $100 per day to be imposed until such time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
So, sir, the conditions that are reflected in these photographs, when were those photos taken?
These pictures, as you can see, were taken on February the 20th. Also, earlier pictures were taken.
And when was the last time you inspected this property?
The last time was today. Around 11 o'clock a.m.
And so those photos are an accurate reflection of the condition of the roof today?
Correct.
All right. And it's the city's request that the property be provided 10 days to bring the property into compliance, or a fine of $100 per day?
Correct.
Okay. The property owner here, this would be either Nilda Hernandez or Anario Hernandez. Are they here this evening?
Yes.
This is your time, folks, to come up and tell me what you want me to hear. Do you have anything you want me to hear, folks? Yeah, we're going to, okay.
Señor y señor Hernández, quieren pasar al podio para darle su victoria, lo que está sucediendo con este caso.
Ma'am, do me a favor, go on over there, and if you could help him come to he probably understand what's going on here. Bring him to the podium, please.
Puede pasar aquí al podio para que usted explique.
Yo no sé inglés.
No tiene que hacerlo para eso.
Okay. If you could translate for me. Tell Mr. Hernandez, the city contends that your roof is in disrepair, and it's asking you to get it fixed in 10 days. What does he say to that?
Lo que la ciudad le está diciendo que el techo suyo está en muy mal estado, está deteriorado y le están dando 10 días para que venga y ponga el techo vigente.
Could you tell him also that if he would look to his right on the big screen, these are the photos that the city has used to show me, and today, the photos that reflect the condition of his roof today.
Estas son fotografías que fueron tomadas de su techo, que reflejan la condición en que está su techo hasta hoy día. Hicieron la última inspección.
Tratan de conseguir ayuda del Chile, de donde sea. Por ejemplo, nosotros cogemos seguro social.
They said that they're on a fixed income, Social Security only, and they're trying to see if they can get assistance, whether it be here with the city or somewhere else, to help them fix the roof.
Let me ask a question for the city. Have you had any contact with these folks before this evening?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Is that the story you've heard before?
Yes.
How long has this roof been in disrepair?
That I know of, I've just started working with the city for the last about 3 months ago. So
Okay, it's about 9 days.
But
And-
the house has been there's been cases open from 2 years back. It's a recurring case.
Okay. Could you ask them, do they live in this home? This is not a rental.
No la alquilan. No.
Are there any other people that live in the home?
¿Hay otras personas que viven con ustedes? No.
Do they have any leaks in the roof?
¿Tienen esta gotera? No se mojan. No.
How much time do they believe they would need in order to fix the roof?
¿Cómo cuánto tiempo usted cree que van a necesitar para poner el techo?
Tengo que llamar al seguro, a ver si el seguro no llama a arreglarlo.
Okay, they said they have no idea. They're trying to get in contact with their insurance company to see if they can get any type of assistance. So at this point, they can't say exactly how much time they need.
Okay, tell them this. My concern is about the safety of their safety and the safety of their neighbors.
Okay, él está preocupado por el bienestar suyo y el bienestar de su vecino.
And my job is to make sure that the codes are enforced.
Y el trabajo de él es para asegurarse que las leyes de la ciudad se lleven a cabo.
And I find that the city has established that there is a code violation with specifically their roof.
Y la ciudad ha establecido que hay un problema específicamente con el techo que está bien deteriorado.
I want to give them a reasonable period of time to fix the roof.
Él le quiere dar tiempo razonable para que puedan arreglar el techo.
And I recognize they are on a limited financial situation.
Y él entiende que su estado financiero es muy limitado.
And I'm going to give them 120 days to fix the roof.
Él le va a dar 120 días para que puedan arreglar el techo.
It's 3 months.
Son 3 meses.
And I'm going to find that if they don't fix the roof in 3 months, there's going to be a fine of $50 per day.
En caso que en el periodo de 120 días no se arregle el techo, él le va a poner una multa de $50 por día.
So please have them understand that they need to reach out to maybe some of the resources that are available in the Central Florida area for assistance.
Okay, él quiere que ustedes se pongan en comunicación con cualquier tipo de recurso que haya aquí en el estado de la Florida, aquí en el Florida Central, para ver si les pueden dar la ayuda que necesitan para poder arreglar su techo.
And they need to reach out to this gentleman to let him know how they're doing with fixing the roof, because he's the city's representative.
Entonces tienen el progreso
Do
que
you have a card, sir?
tienen que
No,
ponerse en
right now, but I'll provide that.
comunicación con él para ver el progreso de ustedes, porque solamente tienen esa cantidad de tiempo.
Do they have any questions?
¿Tienen alguna pregunta? 120 días. No, other than how many days you were giving them now.
120.
120 días. 3 meses.
Sí, pero estamos tratando.
Okay?
All right. So that's it for that case. Tell them if they can have a seat, we're going to hear their other case so they can go home when we're done.
Thank you.
Okay, the next case is DEL 21048. This is a Massey case, same property, 930 Radcliffe, and again, the respondents are, hang on a second, I'm going to make sure I get this right.
Danny.
Nilda and Honorio Hernandez. City ready to proceed on this one?
Which one is it? It's right there. That's the next case. Is that thanks?
Mr. Reichman, you said 067 case?
The one that I've been handed is DEL 21048, which is a Massey update.
Oh, okay, that's my
That's
case.
right. Okay.
Ma'am, would you be kind enough to see if, and I'm sorry to impose on you, but so that they understand what's going on, maybe you can summarize and give it to them as the city's officer? Can you go on over there and just kind of give them a heads up? With the same property? It's okay. Oh, okay, I got it. That's all right. We ready?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, sir.
Good evening. My name is Danny Ron. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be Massey case number DEL 21-04 date. This is actually a Massey update. The City of Deltona versus Nilda and Honorio Hernandez. The property address is 930 Radcliffe Street, Deltona, Florida 32725. The parcel ID number is 813030170090. The statutory requirement for notification of this hearing has been met by the notice of hearing, and the notice of code violation was sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's record. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. Sir, that certified mail did come back and it was signed for. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and is submitted to the special matter clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayal of what observed in the days they were taken. This case was ruled, sir, back in April 28th, special magistrate hearing 2021, April 28, 2021, that the property owner was given 60 days to come to compliance for the lot maintenance, the outdoor storage debris. The owner did not come into compliance within those 60 days and has been receiving a fine of $50 per day since June 28 of 2021. As of today, sir, the property has accrued a total fine of $12,050 over 241 days. We would like the city to request that the fine continues at $50 per day, but we also will be posting, and we want to put it on record that we're going to be posting to abate this property and abate it after 10 days.
Make sure I understand this. The deadline for compliance was June 2nd?
June 28th, 2021, sir.
2021. So that's through today is 241 days at $50 a day. So that's $12,000.
$50, sir.
$12,050. Have there been any efforts to try to reduce the debris?
I have not seen any reduction in it, sir. I've seen stuff moved from one location to the other. All the photos that you've seen today are current from today, this afternoon, and that was about 2:37 p.m.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. If the Hernandezes could come up, please. Could you tell them that, ma'am, this is a different kind of case? This is a different case. It's not about the roof.
Esto no tiene que ver nada con el techo, es un caso totalmente diferente.
This is about the debris and the garbage and the trash that's on their property.
Este caso es con relación a toda la basura que hay alrededor de su propiedad.
That's a code violation.
Es una violación al código.
And that matter was heard by me back in June of last year, April of last year.
April last year, correct.
April of last year.
Y este caso vino ante abril del año pasado.
And last April, I found that there was a code violation.
Y en abril del año pasado, él encontró que había una violación en el código.
And at that hearing in April, I gave them until June 28th to bring the property into compliance.
Y en esa audiencia de abril, él les dio 20 días para que ustedes vinieran y arreglaran el problema.
And the property was found not to be in compliance on June 28th. The garbage and debris was still on the property.
El día 28 de junio del 2021, todavía ustedes no habían arreglado el problema y todavía no habían limpiado toda la porquería y el sucio que hay en la propiedad.
It's been 241 days since that June 28th day.
Han pasado 241 días desde la fecha del 28 de junio de 2021.
And there's been a fine accruing each and every day since then, through today, of $50 per day.
Y han tenido una multa que cada día sube más y más por los 241 días al cabo de $50 por día.
And that total fine through today is $12,050.
Y el total de la multa hasta el día de hoy son $12,050.
And that fine will continue in the amount of $50 per day until the property's violation is corrected.
Y esa multa de $50 por día va a continuar hasta el momento que nos notifiquen que han limpiado y han solucionado el problema.
And I do not enjoy telling them this.
Él no se alegra de dar esa noticia, pero así es que la ley funciona.
But they are in control of the situation.
Ustedes son los únicos que pueden controlar la situación.
This fine will continue, and eventually, when I enter my order, it will be recorded.
La multa va a continuar a $50 por día y el momento que él dé su orden y dictamine la orden, lo van a radicar en la corte.
And you could act as a lien on their property,
Y pueden poner un gravamen sobre su propiedad,
which potentially could be foreclosed.
lo cual quiere decir que pueden ponerlo a la venta.
I would encourage them to work with the code enforcement officer
Él sugiere que por favor breguen con el oficial del código con relación a este problema,
to clean up their yard with the trash and debris.
para que puedan limpiar el terreno, su casa, con relación a la basura y todo lo que tienen alrededor.
The code enforcement officer has advised
El oficial del código, eso,
that the city intends to go out after notice and clean up the property.
que la ciudad va a salir después que le den la notificación y ellos mismos van a limpiar la propiedad,
That the cost of which will be placed as a lien on your property.
el costo de lo cual va a poner un gravamen sobre su propiedad.
You can avoid that
Usted puede evitar eso
if you clean up your property.
si limpia su propiedad.
Do they have any questions?
¿Tiene alguna pregunta?
Estamos limpiando bastante completo, ya no queda nada.
He said they have been cleaning most of it, and at the present time, there's not much of the debris or stuff around the property. They've been cleaning it slowly.
I understand.
Él entiende.
Y él tiene que hacerlo solo, porque
Please advise that I would encourage them to finish the cleanup as soon as possible.
Lo que sugiere es que terminen de limpiar la propiedad lo más antes posible.
And again, to contact this gentleman as soon as they've cleaned it up.
Y se pongan en contacto con el oficial aquí tan pronto terminen de limpiar.
Do they understand?
¿Entienden?
Okay, tell them I'm going to find that the property remains in violation and has been in violation since June 28th for a total of 241 days.
Él va a ordenar que desde el 28 de junio del 2021
$50 per day.
Va a continuar a cabo de $50 por día la multa.
For a total fine of $12,050.
Y hay un total de $12,050.
We let them know we have 2 more cases.
Tomen asiento, hay 2 casos todavía. que hay que-
If they would have a seat.
Well, that's not for me to. That's what I was asking. That's why I wanted to ask you that.
Okay, the next case is 22067, same property. This involves accessory structures. Please proceed, sir.
Good evening. My name is Bashir Turkzi. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case number DEL 22067, the City of Deltona versus Nilda and Hernandez Honorio. I'm sorry, Nilda and Honorio Hernandez. The property address is 930 Radcliffe Street. The parcel ID number is 8130-3017-0090. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-5, adopting the latest edition of International Property Maintenance Code, Section 302.7, which states all accessory structures, including the detached garages, fences, and walls, shall be maintained and kept in good repair and sound structural condition. The corrective action for said violation is to repair, remove, or replace the existing damaged fence. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation being sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I have observed on the day they were taken. This case was a proactive case and was opened on January 25th concerning a fence in disrepair along the side of the property. A notice of violation was posted the same day, and the resident was given until February the 1st to fix the fence. No contact was made by the resident. Upon reinspection, the fence was still in violation. The city would like to request 30 days for the property to come into compliance or a fine of $100 per day to be imposed until such time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
Anything further, sir?
No, sir. Thank you.
Ma'am, if you could ask them to step forward again, please. Please tell them I'm sorry we have to go through this again, but this is a case regarding their fence. If they would look to their right, they'll see a photograph of the case that the city is bringing. Those photographs, according to the city, represent the condition of the fence today.
Esa fotografía demuestra la condición de la verja hasta el día de hoy.
The condition of the fence in those photos violates the city code.
La condición de la verja en esta fotografía no cumple con los códigos de la ciudad.
The fence is in disrepair.
La verja está en muy mal estado.
What do they want me to hear about their fence?
¿Qué ustedes quisieran que él escuchara con relación a la verja?
Yo voy a reparar, por ejemplo, quitarla o algo con ella.
He stated that either they can repair it or they can take it down.
Okay, how much time are they going to need to do that?
¿Cómo cuánto tiempo usted va a necesitar para hacer eso?
como 10 días o lo que yo, la iglesia me ayudan a mí.
Between 10 to 15 days.
Okay.
The church would probably, he's going to ask the church to give him a helping hand.
Okay. All right, would you let him know that I'm going to find that the fence is in disrepair, and then I'm going to give him 30 days to get it into compliance, and that can be either by fixing it or taking it down.
Okay, va a ordenar que la iglesia ahora mismo está en mal estado y le va a dar 30 días para que hagan una de dos cosas, o arreglen la verja o quiten la verja.
And it's important to understand this. If they don't get it fixed or taken down in 30 days, there's going to be a fine of $50 a day.
Si en el cabo de 30 días no arreglan la verja o quitan la verja, él le va a poner una multa de $50 por el día.
Thank you. Okay, tell them to do one more case, just one more case. Sir? If they would like to have a seat, we're almost done. It's up to them. I understand. That makes sense. Next case, DEL 22068. We are dealing with the same property owners, and this is 930 Ratcliffe Street, and this has to do with exterior surfaces. Please proceed.
Good evening. My name is Bashir Turkzi. I am employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case number DEL 22068, the City of Deltona versus Hernandez Nolda and Honorio. The property address is 930 Ratcliffe Street. The parcel ID number is 81 30 30 17 0090. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-5, adopting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 304.2, which states that all exterior surfaces, including but not limited to doors, door and window frames, cornices, porches, trim, balconies, deck, and fences, shall be kept in sound working condition and maintained in good repair. Exterior wood surfaces, other than decay-resistant woods, shall be protected from the elements and decay by painting or other protective covering or treatment. Corrective action for said violation is to repair or replace exterior surfaces. In this case, siding that is damaged and outside doors. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation being sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. This case was a proactive case and was opened on January 25th concerning exterior walls and doors in disrepair. A notice of violation was posted the same day, and the resident was given until February 1st to comply. No contact was made by the resident. Upon reinspection, the property was still in violation. The city would like to request 30 days for the property to come into compliance or a fine of $100 per day to be imposed until such time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance. Thank you.
Would you let them know that this is a separate case? It's not about the roof.
No tiene que ver nada con el techo.
It's not about the fence.
No tiene que ver nada con la verja.
It's about the condition of their home in these photographs.
Es con relación a la condición de su casa, como lo pueden ver en las fotografías.
And the city has stated that those photographs represent the condition of their home today.
Y estas fotografías representan la condición de su residencia.
And those photographs show that those conditions are a code violation.
Y esas fotografías demuestran que la condición de su hogar es en violación del código.
And the city says that they would like for you within 30 days to fix those. or impose a fine. And I would like to hear what they have to say.
Y la ciudad quiere que ustedes arreglen eso en un periodo de 30 días, que ustedes tienen que decir.
Lo vemos de antes de 80 días.
He said he can probably take care of it before 30 days.
Okay. Is there anything else he wants me to hear?
Cualquier otra cosa que usted quiere que él sepa o escuchar.
No, porque estaba hablando con la iglesia que ellos me van a ayudar a poner la... Eso estaba ahí, la hecha completa. ¿Cómo es? El panel.
El panel. He said he had...
Ellos van a comprar los logos completos y poner la ventana, pues hubo una ventana que estaban tapadas ahí.
Okay. He said he had been in contact with his church, and his church is, I guess, have let him know that they are willing to give him a helping hand, that they will go out and buy whatever is needed, a roll or something, just to help. Because there were some windows that were out there. I guess that's what they're going to be helping him with.
Okay. Just let him know that I do find that the property, with regard to the condition of these photos, represents a code violation.
Él va a ordenar que la condición de su propiedad con relación a la fotografía es no está en código con la ley.
And I'm going to give him 30 days. The order is going to say he has 30 days to fix that, to fix his home.
Él le va a dar 30 días para que usted pueda reparar su hogar.
Or there'll be a fine of $50 per day.
O va a haber una multa de $50 por día.
And that fine would be in addition to the other fines that we discussed this evening.
Y esa multa va a ser en adición a las otras multas que ya le han ordenado.
I will be writing up my orders, they'll be in writing and they will be sent to him.
Él va a escribir, todo esto que él ha dicho lo va a escribir, lo va a tener por escrito, las órdenes, y le van a enviar una copia a usted.
Now, I don't have the power to order this, but this is what I'm requesting of the city. I would ask the city to make sure that they reach out and tell these folks what it is that happened today, and if you could do it in Spanish. All right? And ask these folks to have their church reach out to the city to coordinate the repairs.
Okay. Él ha ordenado que los oficiales se pongan en contacto con usted y le hablen en español y le den todos los detalles de lo que ha sucedido aquí hoy. También que la iglesia que lo va a ayudar a usted se ponga en comunicación conmigo a ver si pueden coordinar cualquier cosa de cualquier clase de ayuda.
Okay?
Y cuando esté terminando, ¿a dónde hay que llamarlo? ¿Hay que venir aquí o...?
No, he was asking once they come into compliance or whatever, what they need to do. So,
Get in touch with the city right there. They're going to give him they will give him contact information.
y él le va a dar su contacto, los números de los The only thing that she's requested is that whatever it is, it's done in Spanish so that it makes it easier for them to understand.
And that's why I asked the city to contact them, hopefully, and tell them what happened this evening in Spanish.
Okay, el habla que se ponga en contacto con usted y le
Good? Thank you. Okay?
¿Entiende?
Sí, claro.
All right. Good luck.
Buena suerte.
Gracias.
Okay, we have got a bunch of cases, starting with 22026, and there's a bunch of them, and they all deal with 1870 Providence Boulevard, and the owners are Gabriel and Yocasta Fernandez. So we're going to start with the. Could you let them know they're free to go? Well, if you could just let them know. They're free to go.
That one? Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, city ready to proceed with the first case, 22026, 1870 Providence Boulevard.
Yes, sir. Wrong picture. Give me 1 second.
This has to do with the permit.
Okay. My name is Dennis Muse. I'm employed by the city of Deltona as a code compliance officer. My credentials are on file with the city. This is case number DEL 22-026, Gabriel and Yocasta Fernandez, 1870 Providence Boulevard, Deltona, Florida 32725. This is parcel ID number is 813065160010. This is Deltona Ordinance Section 18-3, adopting the latest edition of the Florida Building Code, Section 105.1, which states that any owner, authorized agent who intends to construct, enlarge, alter, repair, move, demolish, or change the occupancy of a building or structure, or to erect, install, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, convert, or replace any electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system, the installation of which is regulated by this code, or to cause any such work to be done, shall first make application to the building official and obtain the required permit. The corrective action, it must obtain a permit for the cardboard baler behind this unit D through H, behind D through H. As you can see by the picture, it's a rather large machine that was wired into the building without a permit. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by a notice of hearing was sent certified mail 10 days prior to the hearing date, and the certified mail receipt was returned. The notices for the units D through H were hand-delivered to the store manager, Victor Jimenez. In addition, the notice of hearing was also posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to the hearing. All the evidence of this case have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the Code Board Clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. The facts of the case, in the meeting with the owners of the plaza last May of last year, with Ron Paradise, Community Development Director, Sharon Shivers, Assistant Chief Fire Marshal, Phyllis Wallace, Deputy Public Works Director, and Richard Lovett, Assistant Director, we brought to their attention the different violations that were found. No cases were open at that time. No notice of violations were not mailed out until October of 2021. As far as this violation goes, the city is willing to give them an extension. A permit is required for the cardboard baler. I verify an electrician did file online but did not include any other documentation that was needed. It is also required a survey to be obtained for the baler unit location. It's not shown on any outdated survey. The city is requesting no more than 60 days to complete getting the survey and the permit, or are requesting $100 per day fine for each parcel owner, which would be the D through H.
Let me have a question of the building official, please.
Yes, sir.
So this cardboard baler, why does it need, just for the record, why does it need a building permit or a permit?
Because it involves the wiring of electrical, and also there's concerns about the site and the setbacks compliance of the C1 zoning classification.
Okay, that's what I needed to hear. All right. Gabriel Yocasta, and I apologize if I mispronounced the names, Fernandez, are you here this evening? Could you tell me your name, sir?
Gabriel Fernandez.
And your address, sir?
My home address,
Yes, sir.
206 Via Tuscany Loop, Lake Merrick, Florida.
So what do you want me to hear, sir, tonight? On this case? This is just about the cardboard baler.
I spoke to Dennis about the issues, and we found out that we need survey that is updated. So they all expire, so we submitted Monday for new survey. Once we get them, we're just gonna work on that.
Okay. The city's asking me to enter an order that will give you 60 days to do what you need to do to bring this violation into compliance, or a fine of $100 per day. And you've
That's
been
enough.
sitting here, so you know how this works, right?
Yes,
Are you okay with that?
yes.
Okay. So I'm going to enter that order. And we've got quite a few more cases here. So they're going to go kind of like this, I think. I think they're going to go a lot like this. But that's the first one. So again, it's like that last case. These are all each individual orders that I'll be entering. So if nothing happens, sir, it's a lot of money. And that's not why we're here. What we're here for is just to make sure the property comes into compliance. I hope I can't be more clear about that. But the only tool that the statute gives us is this fine. And this is a commercial piece of property. It's not homesteaded. So if it doesn't come into compliance, it'll be a lien on your property and it can be foreclosed. Okay. So I'm going to enter the order on 22026. The property remains in violation, did not come into compliance by the date set forth in the notice of violation. 60 days is reasonable for you to bring the property in compliance, or a fine in the amount of $100 per day will be imposed. Okay, that's the first case. Next case is DEL 027, and this has to do with the permit for the Conex box. Please proceed.
Okay. My name is Dennis Muse. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. My credentials are on file with the city. This is case number DEL 22-027, City of Deltona versus Gabriel and Yocasta Fernandez. Location address 1870 Providence Boulevard, Deltona, Florida 32725. Parcel ID number is 8130-651-60010. Violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance, Section 18-3, adopting the latest edition of the Florida Building Code, Section 105.1, which states that any owner, authorized agent...
Okay, Officer Muse, I'm going to cut you off. I've got the file in front of me,
Okay,
and I've reviewed it this
Okay.
evening.
okay.
So is there anything different about this? What is the city's request?
Same thing on this one here. They need a survey and a permit on this, and we're willing to give them 60 days or a $100 day fine afterwards.
So it's still in violation.
Yes, sir.
And it's this, this box, why does it need a permit?
It's maybe sitting in the setback for one. That's why we need a survey. And to have a structure like that there of that size would require a permit.
All right. Okay.
We also want to know what the relationship to all these improvements are to the master site itself. You know, it may end up tripping the threshold for site plan review.
Okay. Sir, do you understand?
Yes.
So you received notice, it's in the file, you're here. Clearly, the picture is very straightforward. Just need to get a permit. The city's basically asking the same thing as the last case.
Yes.
You admit that the property needs to, you need to comply.
Yes.
Is 60 days okay?
Yes.
Okay. I don't mean to cut you off, but it seems like it's pretty straightforward. Okay. So what I'm going to find is the property remains in violation. This box needs a permit. And I think you understand that.
Yes.
60 days to comply. And again, a different $100 per day if there's not compliance within that 60 days. Okay?
Yes.
Okay. Next case is DEL 22031. This is the maintenance of a right-of-way.
Yes, sir. Give me 1 second.
Okay, so what I've just been told is we've got 3 cases. 031, 032, 033, and it's the same violation, just 3 different parcels.
Yes, sir.
That is correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Please proceed.
Okay, my name is Dennis Muse. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. My credentials are on file with the city. DEL 22-027, 031, 032, and 033. It's City of Deltona versus Foray Investments LLC, Gabriel M. and Yocasta Fernandez and Thomas Abar. Location address is 1870 Providence Boulevard, Deltona, Florida, 32725. Parcel ID numbers 8130-651-60030, 8130-651-60010, and 8130-1516-0080. This is a violation of Deltona Ordinance Section 38-113A, which states that it shall be a responsibility of every owner, agent, or tenant of an improved property in the city to, at all times, maintain those right-of-ways most nearly abutting their property. These responsibilities shall include removing litter and debris, cutting the grass and weeds, and maintain a neat and trimmed appearance. The corrective action, removal of all litter and debris, cutting the grass and weeds to maintain a neat and trimmed appearance. Where grass has been worn out, replaced with new sod and/or seed. Statutory requirements were met by a notice of hearing was sent certified mail 10 days prior to the hearing date. The certified mail receipt was returned. The notices of suites D&H were hand-delivered to the store manager, Victor Jimenez. Notices for the rest of the plaza A through C and K were posted. In addition to the notice of hearing was also posted at the City Hall at least 10 days prior to the hearing. All the evidence in this case, in these cases, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the Code Board Clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day they were taken. Again, in the meeting with the owners of the plaza back in May of last year with Ron Paradise, Sharon Shivers, and Phyllis Wallace and Richard Lovett,
So let me cut to the chase.
yes,
Basically the same thing as all the other violations.
Yes, sir.
We've got 3 cases, but the reason we have 3 cases is the same violation with just 3 different parcels that make up this little strip center,
Yes, sir.
shopping center.
yes, sir.
Okay, what is the city requesting?
We're requesting that they resod the area most abutting the front, clean up any of the trash that might be out there, and put markers up around the edge of the driveway that goes in and along the street so nobody pulls in there and parks. We did put up additional no parking signs, and that has helped a little bit, not a lot unless we have somebody sit out there all day long. And it would be impossible for us to do that at this time. So anytime we do ride by, we do try and ticket them, anybody we do see.
And how much time?
How much time on this one here? We will give them 30 days on this one here, or $100 a day.
All right, sir, Mr. Fernandez. 3 cases. It's the same violation,
Yes.
just 3 different parcels. Law requires you divide it for each parcel. That's why there's 3 cases. They're not trying to hurt you. It's just they got to do it this way
Yes,
by
I
the Florida
understand.
law. They're saying, you saw the photos. They're pretty clear.
Yes.
You heard what they're asking for you to do
Yes.
within 30 days. This
Yes.
one's 30 days, or a fine. Is that something you can do in 30 days?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to find that there was violation. It's still in violation for these 3 different properties, the same violation for three different properties, and that it's reasonable to demand, to order you, sir, to fix these conditions on these 3 different parcels in these 3 different cases within 30 days. These are 3 different cases. And so there could be a fine for each case in the amount of $100 per day if these parcels are not fixed up within 30 days. Again, it's not what I want. I don't want the money. Okay, I don't get the money. No one in this room gets the money. We don't want the money. We just want the property to come in compliance. Fair enough?
Yes.
Okay.
My only concern is getting the survey, because we have to pull permit for that. So,
They do not have to have a permit for putting the sod down.
Don't need a permit for this one.
no,
No.
but you gave me the sheets that I have to pull a permit.
No, not for this particular one.
Oh,
Not for these 3 cases.
For the lawn protection devices, yes,
That's
but you
lawn
can...
protection, yes, they do have to have a permit for that. It's a $15 permit.
Yes.
Is that going to make it, impossible? Is
If I don't
that-
get a survey
Oh, no, no.
in time, then
No, he doesn't need a cert, he needs...
No survey?
No survey for
no
this.
survey, just a
No.
permit.
Just a permit for
Okay.
the
Okay.
markers. For the
Thank you
markers.
for your question. That's a good question, though.
Okay.
Okay, so that's those three cases.
Mr. Reichman,
Yep.
for the record, can we restate the three cases that this order is going to be attached to?
031, 032, and 033.
Thank you.
And the next three cases are basically the same. This is 051, 052, and 053. We're almost there, sir. So I'm just trying to...
I'm good.
Would you like me to start from the beginning, or?
Yes, sir. Please.
Okay. My name is Dennis Muse. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. My credentials are on file with the city. This is a case number DEL 22-051, 052, and 053 for A Investments, LLC, Gabriel M. and Yocasta Fernandez and Thomas Abar. Location address is 1870 Providence Boulevard, Deltona, Florida 32725. Parcel ID numbers 8130-651-60030, 8130-651-60010, and 8130-151-60080. Violation of City of Deltona Ordinance, Section 18-5, which adopts the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Sections 302.3, sidewalks and driveways, which states that all sidewalks, walkways, stairs, driveways, parking spaces in some areas shall be kept in proper state of repair and maintained free from hazardous conditions. Corrective actions: repair the driveway, parking area, restripe the parking lines, add bollards to prohibit improper parking, sidewalks.
Do we have photos?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'll get it for you.
I just want Mr. Fernandez to understand what we're talking about. Probably does. It's your property, but
Yes.
just so we're all on the same page. Fair enough?
Here. So as I was stating, the corrective actions: repair the driveway, parking area, restripe the parking lines, add bollards to prohibit improper parking, sidewalks, bollards to protect the sign and to the lift station from accidental damage. The statutory requirements from the hearing, for this hearing, was sent certified mail 10 days prior to the hearing date. The certified mail receipt was returned. The notices for the suites D through H were hand-delivered to the store manager, Victor Jimenez. Notices for the rest of the plaza A through C and K were posted. In addition, the notice of hearing was also posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to the hearing. All the evidence of these cases have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the Code Board Clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day they were taken. Again, as you see on these ones here, the parking lot has become quite cracked, mainly at one end. This is from constant use over the past 30-plus years. Maintenance has been, I think, few and far between. These cracks are getting pretty wide. We just had, or Mr. Fernandez just had the drainage system cleaned out, has that taken care of. He did put up bollards on the end of the driveway so drivers weren't continually driving over the end, and also put bollards up around the lift station and did put up new parking bumpers. Even with that, drivers are still trying to drive through the right-of-way, up over the sidewalk, up over the bumpers in order to get into a parking space. So that's a different story. But the cracks in the driveway are existing and getting wider as we speak.
So as I understand what you're saying, the violation at this point is the cracks in the parking lot.
Yes, sir.
Starting to crumble, starting to fall apart. But otherwise, he's done some repairs.
He's done some repairs except for the driveway itself.
Right. Okay. Right. All right. And that's the condition for all three parcels?
Yes.
Okay. What is the city's request?
Right now, for this year, we know it's going to take a little bit more time, so we're going to give them 90 days, but then thereafter, $100 a day for each parcel.
Mr. Fernandez, you've heard the code officer and you've seen the photos.
Yes.
They're saying 90 days. Seems like it's pretty clear that, you know, there you are. I mean, we need to fix the, there. Do you have anything you want me to hear about what the city's case or what they're asking?
Well, I just been through, you know, a lot with that, and you know, we're gonna fix it, but I got caught, but it's too much money.
So do you think you're going to need more than 90 days?
I don't know. I cannot say probably yes, probably not. But I think that's fair.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm not trying to set you up for failure.
Yeah.
I'm not. I just want to make sure that for the purposes of the community and your purposes, that this is a fair compromise, because probably people would like to get it fixed yesterday, but I want to be reasonable. And you've had some time to get it fixed already, because they met with you about this last year. So I'm going to agree that 90 days is fair, Mr. Fernandez. For these three cases, it's the same violation, just three different properties.
Yes.
This is case number 051, 052, and 053. Each case still in violation. The materials the city's provided, I'm going to accept as evidence of the violation and support my ruling today. 90 days to comply for each of these parcels, three different cases, or $100 per day. Okay?
Okay.
And as I understand it, that's it as far as what we can do to you. So I think we've done enough damage for one night. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Good luck, and I hope you can, you know, work with them. Let them know, please. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
All right. The next case is DEL 22064, 1851 North Merrick Drive. Just one case? Please proceed when you're ready, sir.
My name is Steve Baraka. I'm employed with the City of Deltona as a Code Compliance Officer. This will be case number DEL 22-064, City of Deltona versus Richard and Cecilia Mamoli. Property address is 1851 North Merrick Drive, Deltona. Parcel ID is 813016180130. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-3, adopting the latest edition of Florida Building Code Section 105.1, which states that any owner or authorized agent who intends to construct, enlarge, also repair, move, demolish, or change the occupancy of a building or structure, or to erect, install, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, convert, or replace any electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system, the installation of which is regulated by this code, or cause any such work to be done, shall first make application to city officials for a permit. The statutory requirements of permit for this notice of hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed of the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted in City Hall at least 10 days prior to the hearing. All evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the code board clerk. I certify that all the photographs be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day they were taken. This case began August 10th when I noticed new construction. One of the things that stuck out is, besides it looking new, is it seemed kind of real close to the fence line. I did an inspection and found out that, and checked with the permit department, and found out there was no permit for this structure. So I made contact with Mr. Momoli and verbally gave him 4 weeks, and then on September 23rd, The homeowner came to City Hall asking for more time due to problems with engineering and the surveys. On October 31st, I posted the notice of violation, giving him until December 20th to comply. The permit was pulled for a re-roof, but not the structure. February 7th, I posted for notice of hearing, and on February 21st, I returned a call from a contractor, a gentleman by the name of Mark Lee, who stated that this on Monday that he has just been contracted to come up with the permits and engineer drawings for this. He did state, however, he was going to have some possible problems with the zoning department because it does look like there might be a backset violation.
What kind of violation?
The setback, I'm sorry.
Setbacks, thank you. So that's the condition of the property right now? In other words, you still need to get the permit? That's the violation?
Right, it's still in violation. What we're trying to do is figure out a decent amount of time. Originally, we were talking about 21 days. I'm not sure if they have to go to zoning, if that's going to be enough.
What's the city's request?
At the end of the 21 days, if that's possible, a fine of $100 a day.
Mr. Mamoli, am I pronouncing that correctly?
No, sir.
Could you tell me how you pronounce your last name, sir?
Mamoli.
Mamoli.
Richard Mamoli.
Thank you, sir. What do you want me to hear?
I think I've been picked on. This building's been up over 3 years. They sent code enforcement out 6 months ago on a Sunday. I was shocked. I was working in my yard doing some landscaping. And a guy was in the park across the way from me, the house. And he's taking pictures of my property. 20 minutes later, he comes out and talks to me. He says, "What's going on here?" I says, "What's going on? I'm cleaning my yard and I'm doing some landscaping." He said, "Well, he got a call on a Saturday from his boss to get over to my address. I'm here."
Let me ask you a couple questions, Mr. Mamoli. When you said this was built some time ago, did you build it yourself or did you have a contractor?
90% of it myself, sir.
Did you get a permit when you were building it?
I did not.
That's what we're here on tonight, sir.
Okay.
That's all we're doing. We're not saying that you did anything wrong other than you got to get a permit.
I understand that. But why did this inspector come out on my home on a Sunday and put me in violation?
That's not really relevant to the issue tonight, sir. In other words, there's nothing that prevents the city of Deltona to do it on a specific day. The more important question that I try to keep us focused on tonight is did you get a permit?
I did not get a permit.
So we all agree on that.
Okay.
So what we need to do is move on.
Okay.
And we need to figure out what's a reasonable period of time.
Okay.
And you've moved forward with the correct step, and that is, it sounds like you've hired a contractor to help you get the permit.
Can I submit this letter?
You absolutely. If you'd give it to the officer right there, and he'll make sure that I see it. But I believe you when you say that you've hired a contractor, because the city said the same thing. Now, if you give that to me, it's mine. You don't get it back.
Okay.
Are you okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. And the reason is because if I look at it, it's got to be made part of the record, and the record stays up here.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. That's. I want you to know that in advance. Okay. What I'm looking at is some documents. First is Engineered Permits, Inc. Supplying a letter. There's some photographs. Very nice house. What do you want me to take from these photographs and these documents, sir?
I just want you to look at it, Your Honor.
It's a beautiful house.
Thank you.
No one's contesting that. You did a nice job. I wish I could build a home and an improvement like you did. But again, the only issue today is just get the permit.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
No one's complaining about anything else.
Okay.
So the city is asking you to work with your contractor
Okay.
and 21 days get that permit. Are you okay with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because I don't want, that's all we need. Then you're done.
Okay. Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Who's the head person that sends these trucks out?
I am not sure, but you know what? Call the code enforcement office tomorrow morning and ask that question. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. There's a lot of officers here tonight, and you know, it's not my job to tell who's in charge or not in charge. But the important thing is just work with the city and with me, and get, you know, keep the contractor focused, sir. Yes. To get this done in 21 days, because if you don't, you've been sitting here all night, you know what the process is. It'll be a fine, $100, and I don't want to do that. You don't want to, I don't want your money.
Okay.
I just want you to get the permit.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks for coming tonight.
Okay, that's all?
That's it. All right, just two of them? Okay, we've got new property, different property, two cases, 22065 and 22066. This is at 1200 Deltona Boulevard. Deltona Wellness LP is the property owner for both of these properties. These are both permit issues as well.
Yes, sir.
Just so we're all the same, and I'm sure everyone knows this, but it has to do with two different cases, sir. They're both about permits. The first one's about for a change of occupancy. The second is about a change of occupancy and a firewall.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just to make sure, this seems pretty straightforward, but I want to make sure everyone understands. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, my name's Dennis Muse. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. My credentials are on file with the city. This is case number DEL 22065 and 066, Deltona, City of Deltona versus Deltona Wellness LLC. Location address is 1200 Deltona Boulevard, units 18 to 19, and 55 and 56. Parcel ID number is 8130-06000020. Violation of City of Deltona Ordinance, Section 18-3, adopting the latest edition of Florida Building Code, Section 105.1, which states that any owner, authorized agent who intends to construct, enlarge, alter, repair, move, demolish, or change the occupancy of a building or structure, or to erect, install, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, convert, or replace any electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system, the installation of which is regulated by this code, or to cause any such work to be done, shall first make application to the building official and obtain the required permit. The corrective action, you must obtain a permit for the change of occupancy for the units 18, 19, and 55 and 56. Application must be submitted to the City of Deltona, 2345 Deltona Boulevard, or Providence Boulevard, I'm sorry, Deltona, Florida 32725. The structure must meet all requirements of the city ordinance and be approved on final inspection. Contact our office with the permit number when obtained. The statutory requirements, a notice of hearing was sent certified mail 10 days prior to the hearing date, and the certified mail receipt was returned. Notice of hearing for the units 18 and 19, 55 and 56 were posted. In addition to the notice of hearing was also posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to the hearing. All the evidence of these cases have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the Code Board Clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day they were taken. This case started in January, being referred to me by fire when a church and a school changed locations to different units, which would be 18 and 19, 55 and 56. And by doing so would require a permit for the change in occupancy. We are asking for 30 days or a fine of $250.
For the case 22065.
65 and for 066.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand it. So basically the facts are all the same. The gentleman's here for both of these cases. But there is one difference. For the 065, which is units 18 and 19, for that case, what has to happen for that case to come in compliance?
For 18 and 19, they have to just get a change of occupancy permit.
Okay. Change of occupancy permit.
Yes, sir.
That's it.
That's it.
As to units 55 and 56, what does the property owner have to get to bring the property into compliance?
A permit for the change of occupancy, for one, and then also for the firewall, which has been rated at 1 hour, and they need to change it to 2 hour
Is the firewall new?
Ask Sharon Shivers, she could answer that question better.
Tell me about the firewall and why that, is not in compliance with code.
So the school currently occupied a few suites. They breached a wall to expand into another suite, which was suite 56. Thank you. At that time, once they breached that wall, it became one occupancy, which is the school. The original tenant only required a 1 hour tenant separation. So once the school breached the wall and became the new tenant, the code requires now a 2 hour tenant separation. So they needed to bring that wall up to current code.
What changed, what was it that caused the 1 hour to become 2 hours?
The school occupancy. Once it expanded into that suite, it was originally a business. And then when the school
So it's the
expanded.
school versus a business?
Yes.
Is that why it's now
Yes.
2 hours?
2 hour. Mhm.
So it's a thicker or better firewall?
Yes, it allows a 2 hour barrier
Right.
for fire versus the 1 hour.
Pursuant to the code that was in the notice of violation, the notice of hearing, and is in the record this evening?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the city is requesting that, how long to come into compliance?
30 days.
For both cases?
Yes, sir.
Or?
$250 a day.
Sir, you've been waiting very patiently. Thank you. Could you tell me your name, sir?
My name is Michael Mather, and I reside at 401 West Sumter Street in Mineola, Florida.
Your relationship to the owners of this property, sir?
I'm the owner's rep.
Okay. What do you want me to hear tonight?
I'd like to deal with these one at a time, if we might.
Let's talk about units 18 and 19.
Perfect. That was a tenant who had an existing unit on that property and opted to move to another similar location. I inherited responsibility for this property, I don't know, about a year ago, and we've had several meetings since, and I've had the pleasure of working with pretty much the entire planning department and enforcement department, and they've been extremely professional, and I think they know that I've solved about 17 or 19 violations that I inherited at the beginning of this, and we're whittling through it pretty quickly.
Well, thank you for that, so that we didn't have to be here till midnight tonight.
Exactly. So, the tenant that moved said that they had taken responsibility for the original change of occupancy when they moved in the first place, and that they were going to take responsibility for it. We never heard another word, and in good faith, we assumed that they had taken care of that. We are happy to supervise to make sure that that happens. The only thing I will say is, are we talking about 30 days to make application for the permit, or are we talking about 30 days to get the permit and then adhere to anything that we might not have expected when the permit is
This is
reviewed?
just about getting the permit.
Yes,
It's
sir.
getting the permit. It's not applying for it. It means 30 days from today, if that's what I rule.
Okay.
You have to get the permit.
Okay, so here's my concerns with that. If that permit requires, say, engineering plans and a survey, right now getting any engineer, let alone my engineer, to sit down for a few minutes and commit to doing something within a period of time can be troubling. It's the economy is
That's
just
a fair
driving
point.
us nuts.
That's a
So-
fair point, and I'm going to
so-
ask the city, is this just a paperwork, or is this potentially more than just paperwork?
I would say there's always a potential to be something else or something to get involved with that. I think
If it's just paperwork, 30 days is enough time.
Yes.
If it's just paperwork, we will in good faith be there next week
Right.
to make
I
the
understand that.
application and submit ourselves for a review and inspection and comments.
So what could go, I mean, I want to be fair. I want to give an amount of time that's reasonable. So what are we looking at potential?
Sharon?
If I may, it just depends on if they did any work in that space. And without us being in there and having a drawing to go off of, I don't know what they've done. So it will start out as paperwork. It may turn into, depending on if they did work, if they constructed a platform, I don't know what they've done.
Okay, that's fair.
It may then move further down where maybe we would need an
Everybody's
engineer.
making sense to me. So, sir, they've not been in the unit. My guess is you have.
I have.
So you see their point?
I do. And
What's the answer?
their original location, they had built a platform and a sound booth stage and a few other things that definitely put them in a questionable gray area. In their new unit, they assured us, and we have seen that they've complied, they have not made any modifications of the walls, the floor space. They've not built any platforms or stages or
This
anything.
is 18 and 19 we're talking
That is
about.
correct. So right now, everything is as it was when I inherited the property. So, but again, do we have to come up with the fire plans, which would require an architect or engineer to put up a drawing? Or I'm just uncertain
get
as
it.
to how much we have to do and how much time we will need to do it
Absolutely.
reasonably.
So I had provided some general guidelines when we initially first started, both with the church and then again with you, letting them know what the minimum requirements were going to be on the drawing. It's pretty straightforward. As long as it's a to-scale drawing, it's legible, it's got all the information that we need to at least do an initial review.
Okay.
We're not looking for an architect or an engineer at this point.
Okay.
So it's something pretty straightforward that you can do.
Are you aware of what the firewall requirement might be for that?
We're just on 18 and 19 right now.
Right, correct. I understand.
Right, and there's...
That's also a church. I don't believe they're operating as a school anymore, but I need to find that out. But I don't know whether that changes, whether they need the one side is masonry, so it's not going to be a firewall issue. It's the end unit. But the side that abuts against a different tenant, I don't know if that's an issue or not.
Yeah, if I recall, it's the vet hospital
Correct.
clinic that's adjacent to you, so that would be classified as a business adjacent to an assembly, and it would only require the 1 hour.
Okay, then I am 98% confident that we could do this within 30 days. The only thing that I would ask is a good faith, the good faith effort to be able to come back here should we find that
Tell you
there's
what I'm
something
gonna
that
do.
would take much more time, so.
I'm going to make it 45 days or a fine of $100 per day.
Fair enough.
You've made some changes, you've been working, we get that, and I want to reward that, but I also want to make sure that since we're dealing with a pretty straightforward code violation, that there's some incentive to keep working as you have been working with the city, sir.
Oh, and we're happy to do that. We
So that's
very much respect what the city's trying
45
to do.
days or $100 per day.
Fair enough. Thank you, sir.
So let's talk about the next case, which is 22066, units 56, 55, and 56. It's kind of the same thing, except this one's got a little bit of an addition because it's the firewall case. So tell me what you want me to hear about that case.
This is a more fun one. So
None of these are fun.
What's that?
None of these are fun.
None of these are particularly fun. They're especially not fun for me. So this is a case where the school rented some additional space. The original owner just sort of allowed this sort of all kinds of malarkey to go on. They made a penetration, and so our responsibility was to come in, create some drawings, certify that the penetration that they made was satisfied ADA requirements, satisfied wall requirements, and then we obviously understood that we had to have a 2-hour firewall. We made a
So you don't contest that?
No, absolutely not.
Got it.
No, these guys have been, honestly, these guys have been wonderful to work with. The reason that we're here is because I sometimes don't find out about these violations from the owners who are in New York because they get mailed up to them, signed for by somebody who really doesn't know what they're looking at, and so by the time I see that there's a problem, it's like 3 days before this hearing.
So my guess is where we're headed with this is you're not sure that you can get all this done in 30 days.
Again, a good question, because we made application, we did the drawings, we had some meetings, and we thought we were on the same page. The original supervisor, John? Yep.
Yeah.
John and I met with, is it Lee? Yeah. With Lee several times, and the hurdle that we were having trouble getting over was, in my understanding, the ULL, is it ULL code?
UL listed.
UL code. The UL code that our engineer applied to how we were going to do this to our firewall did not match up with any UL code that Lee recognized. My engineer, being something of a, thinks a lot of himself, said that, there's 1,500 UL codes he could look through, but he has the ability as a Florida engineer, licensed experience and all that, to put a drawing together and give it his best guess on what the code is, as long as he certifies that this is a satisfactory to our firewall. We went back and forth a little bit on it with John and Lee, and then John basically said, I believe we're satisfied. We're not really going to worry about this. Go do the work, blah, blah, blah. And then the fire alarm company was going to piggyback on the permit. So we moved forward and authorized the work. The work actually got done. The problem is that we didn't dot our I's and cross our T's to see that the fire people finished with the permit, closed it out and all that. So we're just finding out now that in spite of good faith efforts to get this wall done, the permit never really got, I guess, signed off on. And now there's a new supervisor, and of course John is nowhere, John is on to a new job, so we did it in good faith. I guess I need to go back to my engineer and he needs to come up with a better UL code for what he drew and planned.
I get it. I'm going to ask the city.
So anyhow, so where are we, Ms. Shivers?
Okay, so this was all discovered because the fire alarm company turned in a permit to do work. That's when we all discovered that they had expanded. Long story short, now we're at the point where we're trying to work on the firewall issue. John Bowden, the previous building official, approved it. It did not get approved by the fire department, who was also a reviewing entity. So in return, the permit for the firewall never got issued. Some time passed, and here we are. I know that it was resubmitted fairly recently ago. Carl Lynch, who is now the acting building official, reviewed it. He denied it. And as of this afternoon, Lee Grosner also denied it. So we're still, they're not using a UL listed design, and there's some research really that needs to be done with
He's saying
what
that
he
the
is.
fire guy approved this particular UL, whatever the heck that is.
Yeah, and I can't speak for John Bowden and why he approved it, but I know that the fire department did not.
So what do you
the
think,
permit was not issued.
in your experience, ma'am, how long do you think it's going to be before, what's a reasonable period of time for the city to work with this gentleman and this property owner to get this permit issued for the change of occupancy and for the firewall?
We have not seen anything for the change of occupancy yet. That one might be a little bit more challenging.
Are these two different permits?
You can do it concurrently. They've chosen
Could they get, here's where I'm headed with it, could they get a permit for a change of occupancy and by itself and then not get a permit for the firewall?
Yes, typically you see them done concurrently, but for some reason they've been piecemealed. So
Okay, but they're two different permits.
there's a total of 3 different permits, yes. Fire alarm, change of occupancy, and firewall.
All right, well, the only thing I have in front of me, unless you correct me, is the firewall and the change of occupancy.
That's for 55 and 56.
Yes.
That's right.
Fire alarm is already issued. No finals have been conducted because we've placed them on hold until we rectify the
I don't
firewall.
want to confuse
and
it.
shoot.
We are only on this case 066 on the change of occupancy and the firewall.
Yes.
Two different permits. I need to understand how much time it's going to take get the permit for the change of occupancy.
I'm going to defer to the applicant on how long he needs, and I'll determine if that's
So here's the
reasonable.
thing. In a perfect world, we could sit down with my engineer and you and Lee and argue over whether the work was done and it is a true to-hour firewall.
That's the firewall. I'm talking about is two different permits.
I do understand that. I do
Okay,
understand
I'm
that.
asking about what's a reasonable period of time for the change of occupancy permit, not the firewall.
Can a change of occupancy be approved without a firewall being certified? So that's kind of where I'm going.
Thanks, I didn't understand
Okay,
that. Thank you
that's
very
kind of
much.
where I'm going on that.
All right, so the question then is, what is a reasonable period of time for this company, this gentleman, this owner, to get the permit for the firewall? What are we looking at? What's reasonable?
I'm going to say 45 days. and we'll.
You don't have to agree. I
No.
can decide.
My mind is whirling through all the, I mean, the reason I'm hired to do this job and represent the owners is because I do understand some of the
Sure.
complexities of what we face, and I know that Ms. Shivers
Is this place
probably understands
occupied?
where my mind is going with this.
Is this
So,
place occupied?
Yeah,
It is.
yeah,
It's occupied
right.
as a
School.
for kids.
Non-sprinkled, yes.
So there's kids in there. And we don't know if the firewall is safe.
Well, according to my engineer, the firewall is safe.
Well, he's
So-
not here.
Right.
That's hearsay, so I can't
Okay.
rely
So I
on it.
guess what I'm saying is, if things go easy and the engineer and the fire department can sit down and agree that it is a 2-hour firewall and come up with a code that satisfies everybody, this could be done
Here's
in a
why I'm asking
week or
that
10
question.
days. If it is difficult and we have to redesign it and maybe tear down some of what we already did and redo it, that could be much more complex.
Okay,
So I
let me tell you what I'm trying to accomplish here.
Sure.
I don't want to fine you. But if it was vacant, and no one could burn up in a vacant building,
Sure.
I'm not going to be that strict. But we got kids in there.
Of course we do, and I totally respect
understand
what
where
they're
I'm
trying
going
to
with this?
accomplish here, completely. They know how much I respect what they're trying to accomplish
Okay.
here. I'm trying to accomplish getting it done as quickly as possible and satisfying code enforcement as well as the fire department.
But right now,
in good
there's a
faith.
1-hour firewall.
What's that?
Is that correct?
Correct.
And the code requires a 2-hour firewall.
Correct.
And there's a reason for whatever.
Which in good faith, we believe we have installed. We're just in disagreement about the code or whether the fire department agrees that the method is viable. So,
Okay, I'm going to give you 45 days.
okay?
And the reason is because it's occupied.
Of course.
And every day there's a bunch of kids in there. And I don't know whether you've got a 1 or a 2 hour.
Okay.
But if fire starts and we're wrong,
Sure.
and it's 1 hour,
Yeah.
I don't want to read that in the newspaper.
I would say for the record that nobody on our side, nobody in the ownership said that they could go ahead and occupy. They moved forward with an occupation completely unbeknownst to us. So I wouldn't have a
Well, that's
problem
between
if
you-
we pushed them back beyond that one wall until we solve this,
That's between you
if
and your
that
tenants.
satisfies everybody.
That's between you and your tenants. That's
Right.
not our job.
I'm just telling you, that's how much I respect what we're trying to do
Good.
here.
So my order is going to be you have 45 days to bring units 55 and 56, or a fine in the amount of $250 per day. So this one's different than the other one.
Right.
And you understand why I'm being a little harsher on this, okay?
I do understand that. My concern is if we have to tear down what we did and restart it.
Then you need to work with these folks, and they can work with you, and if we have to, we can come back.
Fair enough.
Okay?
Perfect. I like that.
Okay.
All right.
All right, those are my rulings. Thank you very much for your help, and just let's keep everybody safe, all right?
Yes, sir. No, we're all in agreement on that. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good seeing you guys.
Okay, the next is one property, 2 cases, 22069 and 070. And this is property address 751 Whitewood Drive, and we're dealing with more than 2 vehicles and an unapproved residence. Those are the 2 cases. And I believe the property owners are Sterling Michelle Dean. Hope I got that right. Go ahead when you're ready, Officer Scott, with case 22069.
My name is Jeff Scott. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as Code Compliance Officer. This case will be DL 22069, the City of Deltona versus Sterling Michelle Dean. The property address is 751 Whitewood Drive, Deltona, Florida 32725. The parcel ID is 813-02015-0090. This is a violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance Section 6619A A1, which states a maximum of 2 vehicles with no more than 1 vehicle being a Class A, B, or C motorhome or fifth wheel recreational vehicle may be parked in the side or rear yard. They should have a current license plate or a validation sticker, and the ground area beneath such vehicles shall be kept free from debris, including excessive weed growth. Corrective action for said violation is to reduce the number of RVs on the property to only 1.
I'm going to interrupt you, Officer Scott. I need you to help me with these photographs. I need for you to point out for me in these photographs, what you're telling me is that there's 2 RVs in this property, and they're only entitled to 1. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, where are the 2 RVs? Is there one in that? Are there 2 RVs in that photo?
Yes.
RVs, recreational vehicles. All right, point them to me. There's 1.
There, and then if you look over the shed of the roof, there's the second one right up here.
And they are, we're looking from, I guess, behind their property?
Yes.
On the
it's
right of way
next
behind
street
their
over.
property?
Correct. I have pictometry from the property appraisals as well. Where my cursor
And they're
is,
in their, both these
are the
RVs are in their
rooftops.
backyard?
Correct. These the rooftops of the 2 RVs here.
Okay.
I have another one.
So they can have 1. That's not a problem.
Correct.
And the solution is to get rid of 1 of them.
Correct. There's another view from the property appraiser.
How much, what's the city's position as far as what it requests?
Okay.
How many days to come into compliance?
I spoke with the gentleman today. He needs 30 days to have 1 of them removed. So the city will give him 30 days or $100 a day fine.
What is the city requesting with regard to the fine?
$100 a day.
Okay, thank you. Sterling Michelle Dean.
Yes.
Could you tell me your name, ma'am?
Sterling Michelle Dean,
And where do you reside, ma'am?
751 Whitewood Drive.
Okay. Are you the one that's going to be talking to me today?
No.
This gentleman is.
Yes.
Could you give me your name, sir?
Well, the nickname's Angel, but it's Vigiano Baker.
Okay. And where do you reside, sir?
751 Whitewood Drive.
What do you want me to hear?
Just that we'll agree, 30 days, we'll have 1 moved.
Okay. All right. Pretty straightforward. There's 2, needs to be 1. So you acknowledge you got 1 too many RVs on your property. Okay. 30 days, that's what they're asking for. I'm going to say 30 days. Why should I argue? So it's going to be $50 a day. If in 30 days, there's still 2 RVs out there. So what I'm going to ask you to do is, as soon as you get one of the RVs out, just let this gentleman know. Okay? He'll come out and inspect it, and then we're done.
Okay.
Fair enough?
Yes.
Okay, the next case is DEL 22070, and this one is an unapproved residence.
Mr. Reichman, if we could please finish reading in his
Statutory requirements.
Statutory requirements.
Okay,
and so
sure.
forth. Thank you, just for the record.
The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing has been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation was sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's record. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the Special Magistrate Clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day they were taken. All right, that's it for that case.
All right, let's talk about 22070. Officer Scott, this is the unapproved residence.
My name is Officer Jeff Scott. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case number DEL 22070. The City of Deltona versus Sterling Michelle Dean. The property address is 751 Whitewood Drive, Deltona, Florida 32725. Parcel ID is 813-020-150090. This is a violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance, Section 110-822, which states no trailer, mobile home, basement, tent, shack, garage, barn, or other similar building erected on any lot shall at any time be used as a residential be used as a residence temporarily or permanently, nor shall any residence of a temporary character be permitted. Corrective action for said violation is to cease use of the unapproved residence. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mailed to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's record. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day they were taken. This case started from a complaint advising someone was living in the RV on the property. I've spoken with the fiance of the property owner who advised his daughter goes in there from time to time but does not live in it. He admitted that to having an extension cord water connected to the RV. But I spoke with him today and he needs 14 days to have the utilities disconnected from it. So the city is requesting 14 days to come into compliance or a fine of $100 per day.
All right, sir. Who am I talking to this time?
Me.
Could you give me your name again, please?
Vigiano Baker.
Thank you. What do you want me to hear?
Pretty straightforward. I mean, I was curious that it never can be plugged in when it's there, or is there a certain time frame that it's allowed to be? No one can use it
My
at
understanding is it just can't be occupied as a residence.
all? Okay,
But that's my understanding from presentation by the city.
okay,
It cannot be hooked up to utilities, any utilities.
okay. So, ever? Just making sure the one there, like charging it up and stuff like that, is there?
You can have a extension cord run into it to charge the batteries and those kind of things.
Okay.
But you cannot have it hooked up to utilities. You couldn't have it anything more than just that.
Just extension cord, okay. Thank you.
All right. They're saying 14 days. I guess they're saying 14 days because that's what you said.
Plenty.
All right. So I'm going to close the loop and say 14 days.
Thank you.
And, obviously, again, I think you can tell my main concerns are just safety. And if it's occupied, I mean, something goes wrong, we'd all feel terrible. So 14 days to bring it in compliance or $100 per day, which is what the city asks. So do you have any questions about what we've done tonight?
No.
Okay. Thank you for being here, and thank you for your cooperation. I do appreciate it. Okay, that's it.
All right.
Okay, the next case is DEL 2107-12870 Valmont Lane, 22071.
I'm trying to fix it for you.
I appreciate you.
This is regarding some plumbing that's damaged.
Yes.
We're going to hear more about that in a second.
My name is Taylor Sukup. I am employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case number DEL 22071, the City of Deltona versus Pine Vest Properties, Inc. The property address is 2870 Valmont Lane. The parcel ID number is 8130434200010. This is a violation of the City Deltona Ordinance, Section 18-5, adopting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 504.1, which states that all plumbing fixtures shall be properly installed and maintained in working order and shall be kept free from obstructions, leaks, defects, and be capable of performing the function for which plumbing fixtures are designed. The corrective action for said violation is to repair or replace plumbing. The statutory requirements for the notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified to the property owner at the address listed at the property's appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I have observed the day they were taken. This case was initiated as a complaint. The tenant states they have been dealing with this plumbing backing up for several years. There's a deep hole in the front yard that is open sewage. Their master bathroom is overflowing with unsanitary sewage going into the living area. They had to tear up the carpet in the closet due to saturation. They have made a drain hose for the washing machine leading outside. No contact has been made by the property owner. The city would like to request 7 days for the property to come into compliance for a fine of $250 per day imposed until such time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
Anything further? Okay, folks, could you identify yourselves and tell me what you want me to hear?
Yes, my name is Jermaine, and
could you speak? I'm sorry.
my name is Jermaine Favor, and I was just letting you know that we are the people that actually reside there.
Oh, you're the tenants.
Yeah, trust me, I'm not the owner. If I was the owner, it wouldn't be looking like that. But pretty much where we're here is because he is failing to do this, and it's slowly. I've tried to give him the benefit of the doubt over years to get it done. So it's not like, I mean, you can give him whatever time you want and whatever fines, but I mean, let's just hope he gets it done, because like I said, he's had 3 years to slowly get this done, and now is when I pretty much have, kind of gotten upset about it, because it's gotten this bad and he doesn't want to come.
I wouldn't have been that patient.
He's telling me, I'm telling him, come to the house, because I have done everything. When I tell you, I've done the majority of all the maintenance in the house, because I don't want to bother him to come to, he goes to Colombia and Russia a lot. So for me to sit here and bother him to, to do something, it's like, come on, like, I'm not going to sit here and bother him, but this, I can't do this. I mean, I normally would self-contract. I talked to my uncle. When I told my uncle my whole drawn-out plan, he's like, Jermaine, just stop. He's like, you can't self-contract with this.
The photos are all I need.
Yeah.
What did you want to say, ma'am?
My name is Bianca Favor, and I just have more pictures of everything.
You can if you want, but I got it.
Okay, yeah, it's really bad.
So, a couple things. I'm going to give him 7 days to comply, or a fine of $250 per day. That's the maximum I can give him.
Okay.
7 days, because that's reasonable. We've got a lot of problems out there.
Yeah.
I'm required by law to give him a reasonable period of time to comply. Probably in another situation, I might give someone more, because that's going to be a lot in 7 days. It's not going to happen in 7 days.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a fine of $250 per day.
Okay.
This is the kind of thing that I'd ask the city, because this is a health issue.
Yeah, and there's kids involved.
Okay, there's a health issue, so if you all could take a look at it from maybe notifying the Department of Health or something like that.
They already have been notified. And
that's not within my jurisdiction.
Sorry. Yeah,
I'm just very sensitive to the issue here. So what I'm going to do is find that the property remains in violation, that within 7 days it has to come into compliance, or there'll be a fine of $250 per day. Okay. what I'd ask the city, and this is not within my jurisdiction, let's keep a close eye on this one. Let's have the Massey hearing sooner rather than later, because that's the leverage that we have. They know what I'm saying. What I'm saying to them is let's just keep this moving along. I'm assuming there's not going to be compliance. We'll come back here with the Massey, and then that'll give us the teed up for this quickly as possible to give them a notice that there's an intent to foreclose, because this is a tenancy, so it's not a homesteaded property.
Okay, thank you.
And that's all we can do.
No, trust
Within
me.
our jurisdiction
No,
today.
that's, listen, I mean, it's better than him just thinking, because like I said, he whatever he does elsewhere, because he
Now,
likes to
look,
buy a lot
I
of
am not
property.
your attorney, but you may want to go seek some legal
Yes, I've been.
from standpoint of a landlord-tenant, but that is, again, nothing to do with tonight.
Okay, thank
Okay?
you. Appreciate it so much. You have a great night.
Okay, good luck to you.
Thank you so much.
Sorry you have to go through that.
No, thank you.
Stack those here, because we got stacked on.
This is all the same?
Yes.
Okay, the next one, last but not least, as to the properties this evening that we have guests. 2838 Howland Boulevard, got a bunch here, and this is DEL, I'm going to read them out, 040, 041, 042, 043, 044, 045, 046, 047, 048, 49, and 50. Okay, so that is, the first one is 040. Officer Laracy,
Thank you, sir.
you've been busy. Electrical.
My name is Marion Laracy. I'm employed with the City of Deltona as a Code Compliance Officer. This is in case reference to DL 22-040, City of Deltona versus Robert Nieves. Property address is 2838 Howland Boulevard. Parcel ID is 813-039-090-070. This is in violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-5, adopting the latest edition of an International Property Maintenance Code, Section 605.1, which states that all electrical equipment, wiring, and appliances shall be properly installed and maintained in a safe and approved manner. Corrective action is to repair, replace electrical equipment, wiring, and/or appliance to ensure safety and done in an approved manner and obtain a permit. Statutory requirements for this notification of this hearing have been met by notice of hearing. Notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at the City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All evidence of this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to Special Magistrate Clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. This case was opened in November 2021. The fire inspector initiated this case in September of 2021 with multiple fire code violations. This is in reference to electrical work that was completed without a permit. There were concerns of fire safety. If you look at Exhibit H, pages 3, 4, and 5, are the written comments by the fire inspector. Extension cords were not properly used. Multi-plugs were used for permanent wiring receptacles. Extension cords for permanent wiring. Circuit breakers were not properly labeled, and they pose a threat to public safety. Permits were not obtained for any electrical wiring throughout the commercial property. The city would like to request 30 days to come into compliance or a fine of $250 a day.
What will have to happen for this property to come into compliance pursuant, from the city standpoint?
They had an electrician come out, but there was no permits pulled for any electrical work that was done.
I'm sorry, say that again. What is going to have to come into compliance
He
now?
needs to rewire the facility, and in order to do that, he'll need to pull permits.
So it's not just the permits, but it has to be rewired?
Correct.
Consistent with the permits?
With permits.
Within 30 days?
Yes.
Or a fine of?
$250.
Okay. Is the property occupied?
Excuse me, Mr.
Hang on.
Mayor. I just want to get the DEL case number that was.
040.
40, okay, thank you. Sorry.
Property occupied?
Yes, it's a business.
It's a
It's a
business.
full functioning business till this day.
What kind of business?
It's a tire replacement, repair business,
It's commercial.
commercial.
Okay. All right. Is the owner here?
Yes, sir.
What's your name, sir?
Robert Nieves.
And you live at 2838 Howland Boulevard?
I live on 1962 North Merrick.
Okay.
2838 is the business location.
Understood. Thank you very much for that clarification. Fair enough.
problem.
What do you want me to hear about? We got a lot of cases. This is just the one about the,
Okay.
just the electrical.
Okay, I hired an electrician, and he took out a permit according to what he told me online, and all of these things have already been completed. All the electrical work there, if you go in tomorrow and take pictures, all of them it's already to satisfaction, because the electrician did all the work. I had to spend $5,200 getting the whole system replaced. I took all the electrical wire and everything. That's not right now the way it looks. All that has been
Okay, that's fair. So there's a couple parts of this we need to clarify.
Okay.
The first part is that to do that kind of work, you need to get a permit.
And he did.
Do you have proof that your contractor got a permit?
I don't have proof because I just relied on his word that he went in the computer. I had to pay him an additional fee because I had some violation and to the tune of $800 on top of the what he charged me. But I could get his name and pass it to her.
Okay. So the next thing is, when were those photos taken?
Sir, I have to interject. The permit that he did pull was for just the meter. It wasn't for the
Okay.
rewiring of the facility.
Okay. He did, sir. He just didn't get the right permit.
Okay.
So what he told you,
excuse me?
what he told you was true, but it wasn't correct.
It wasn't complete.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So we need to. You're going to need to get him or somebody to pull the right permit. And when they do that, they're going to have to go. The city will have to go out and inspect the work, and it may be fine.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? But it just needs to get done because and I hope I'm wrong. But if the guy pulled a permit, told you that he did it right, and he didn't, I'm worried that maybe he didn't do the electrical work right.
Yes.
Fair enough?
Yes, because...
And guess what happens if you've got bad, faulty electrical stuff? You have a fire. And you got a garage, a business there with a whole bunch of stuff that could catch on fire.
Yes, sir.
And remember, you've been here the whole night. You know what I'm looking for. This isn't about, little pitty-pat details. This is about potential consequences.
Yes.
That's what I'm focusing on.
Yes.
And this one, quite frankly, worries me. Maybe I'm worrying for nothing, but it's important for you as well as for the city to let's make sure that this thing is installed correctly.
No,
because it's electrical.
I agree. And I gave him the specifications that the city gave me when they gave me that violation. I said, I want you to do it exactly how it's written this in this form.
And maybe he did.
I saw the guy repiping, rewiring up to the building because the meter's up front in a pole, and they rewired the whole thing.
And I'm not telling you he didn't. All I'm saying is let's make sure.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you 30 days to get the permit and to have the city come out and make sure that the wiring is done pursuant to code. And if the permit's it's not going to take 30 days. It's really just making sure that you apply for the right permit, because he didn't apply for the right permit.
So
and then
do I have to do that?
let me finish. Once he applies for the right permit, that's when they get the right, as a matter of law, to come out to your property and make sure that the installation is consistent with code and consistent with the permit. And if all of that is done, you're good.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So I have to contact the electrician and ask him to get the right permit, or give me the evidence that he...
And if you have questions, this young lady right here is really, really good at doing her job.
Okay.
So if you have questions, she'll follow up, all right?
Okay.
Because we all want that to make sure it's safe.
No problem.
Okay. All right, so that's the first case. We got a few more. Next one is DEL 22041, plumbing.
Mr. Reichman, just for clarity on the record, 30 days and how much of a fine if he doesn't come into compliance?
I'm sorry, $250 a day.
Thank you, sir.
Excuse me. So what we're saying is talking about that he didn't get the right permit.
That's
Is that
right.
right?
That's right.
All right. Because he only got a permit to change, what, the whole electrical box?
The meter,
The meter?
yes,
That's all I did.
The meter is that box where the circuit breakers are,
on the pole,
on the
outside.
pole, right? Because I know he changed everything, and I know that they worked on the wiring and everything.
Yeah.
But
She'll
you're saying
explain it
that
to
he
you,
didn't
sir.
get the right permit. Okay, no problem.
Okay, now we're going to move on to a different case.
Okay, no problem.
This one's having to do with plumbing. So just put that one aside. We're switching gears here, okay?
Okay.
My name is Marion Liracy. I'm employed with the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This is in reference to case number DEL 22-041, City of Deltona versus Robert Nieves. Property address is 2838 Howland Boulevard. Property ID is 813-039-090-070. This is in violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-5, adopting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 504.1, which states that all plumbing fixtures shall be properly installed, maintained in working order, and shall be kept free of obstructions, leaks, defects, and capable of performing functioning for which such plumbing fixtures are designed. Corrective action for violations is to repair or replace damaged plumbing and obtain a permit. Statutory requirements for this notification of this hearing have been met. Notice of hearing, notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to a special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day they were taken. Again, the case was opened in November. Fire inspector initiated the case in September. There are exhibits on page 4 of the comments from the fire
Officer Liracy,
inspector.
could you ask someone, or if you could put up the photos?
I apologize.
That's okay. Just want to make sure all we're looking at the same thing. This is 041, plumbing.
There was a bathroom that was installed without a permit. That's part of this structure that is partially demolished to include a toilet. I went by today, and most of that has been gone. But there's also this exterior, the sink on the outside of the building that still exists that has the water, I guess, coming down to where the sink is.
So what do they have to do to bring the property into compliance?
Either fix it, remove it, get a permit for the plumbing.
All right,
That goes
let me
up
see
to
if I
the sink.
understand. If I'm the property owner, and I don't want a fine, and I want to bring the property in compliance, I can either fix it. What
They
does
can
that
repair it. They would have to repair it up to code, again, getting a
mean? You
permit.
say it, are we talking about the
The
sink?
sink, where the
And
water,
the plumbing to the sink?
correct.
Okay, that's option one. Do they have another option?
Or remove the whole thing,
Just remove that part of the plumbing?
correct. And we would just need confirmation that the water's been capped off appropriately.
What's the city saying as far as a reasonable, fair time for it to come in compliance one way or the other?
30 days or $250.
Is this part of the building occupied or being used?
This part is no longer being occupied. He's in the middle of demolishing it,
Okay,
or started to demolish it.
all right. Mr. Nieves?
Yes. That building, excuse me, I built it without a permit 16 years ago, and when they came again and gave me the violation, I said that I was going to demolish it.
Okay.
And actually, the bathroom that was there was the pipe that I needed to cap, but since I'm demolishing it, I took away all the pipe leading to the sewage section. So the remaining that I have to move is that sink there, which the employees, that was a wall there, and the employees used to wash their hands. That's coming down.
You're taking that down?
Yeah, that's coming down.
And when you take that down, Mr. Nieves, that'll be compliance?
Yes, all right.
The
so then-
sink and the plumbing going to the sink?
Yes, yes.
So that's good. We're in agreement. They're saying they need you to do that in 30 days.
Oh, I
You good 30 days?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So on this case, I think we're all straightforward.
Yes.
30 days, it shouldn't be there. You can take it out of there. 30 days or a fine. I'm going to say $100 per day.
Yeah.
Because It's not occupied, so that one's pretty straightforward.
Yes.
Okay. That one I don't think we're going to have any problems with at all. Next case is DEL 22042, same property address, same property owner. This is accessory structure and disrepair.
My name is Marion Laracy. I'm employed with the City of Deltona as Code Compliance Officer. This is in reference to case number DEL 22-042, City of Deltona versus Robert Nieves. Property address is 2838 Howland Boulevard. Parcel ID is 813-039-090-070. This is in violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-5, adopting the latest edition of International Property Maintenance Code Section 302.7. which states all accessory structures, including detached garages, fence, walls, shall be maintained and kept in good repair and sound structural condition. Corrective action is to repair or remove the structure, obtain a permit if needed. Statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by notice of hearing and notice of violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to Special Magistrate Clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayal of what I observed the day they were taken. Again, there's multiple areas in this building that were kind of piecemeal together. There's damaged soffits, roof flashings that are damaged, walls that appear to have holes in them. And then any repairs that they did try to do are just not sufficient enough up to code.
Have
For
you
instance, the
provided
boards.
Mr. Nieves a list
Absolutely.
of the things that he has to do to bring this case into compliance?
Yes.
Okay. And so what do you believe is a reasonable period of time for Mr. Nieves to have to fix the items on that list?
We're requesting 30 days or a $250 fine per day.
When did you give him that list?
We met, several of us met, to include the fire inspector, the acting building official Carl Lynch, my supervisor Danny Ron, to discuss every single case involving both these properties.
Are any of the items on this list safety items?
I'd say the electrical would be the safety item to be the concern.
Say that again?
The electrical?
That's one of the accessory structures and disrepair items?
Oh, you're referring to the accessory structure? No, I wouldn't say that there's any safety problems with these.
We're just on case number 042.
Understand.
So that list it's nothing structural that if it doesn't get done right away, it's
Not in my opinion. That would be probably the building official's opinion.
Did you hear your name?
I can answer that for you, Mr. Reichman, Richard Levitt. The building official has gone out there and looked at it. He didn't see that there was anything that was in grave danger that needed to come down right away.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. All right, Mr. Nieves, did you understand what they've been saying about this case 042? We got a lot of little things that just need to be repaired.
Yes, and it has to do with the structure that I'm bringing down. As I'm bringing that structure down, because I got a permit and I got 6 months to do it, all these things will be dealt with. But mainly all that we see there is that structure that's coming down right now, the soffit and everything. Of course, as I'm tearing it down, I'm fixing the rest that needs to be fixed, so, you know.
Okay, so let me try to clarify something. Thank you. So the gentleman is saying that everything on the list is part of the property that he's tearing down. So is that the city's understanding?
No. So some of the damage to the buildings is on the interior where they're doing some of the work. There's holes in the Bay Area.
Okay, fair enough.
For the main building.
So on the list, have you put a notation next to the items on the list that have to do with the area that's being torn down versus things on the list that are not in the part of the building that are being torn down?
Yes, and we've physically been there and discussed.
Okay. For the items that are associated with the part that's being torn down, he said to me just now that he's got 6 months to take that building down. Is that correct?
per the permit.
Okay, so arguably, those items on the list that are associated with the part that's being torn down, he's got 6 months to take that building down.
Correct.
But the other ones that aren't associated with that part that he's tearing down, that's not, he doesn't have 6 months pursuant to that demolition permit.
Correct.
Okay. Do you see the distinction I'm making?
Yes, and most of it that was seen before, like some holes in the walls and everything, they have been patched and everything, which is in the office space and everything. Inside the building, everything is dealt with already. Like, if they go tomorrow or next week and make me a new list and they could see for themselves how much I've done, you know, we could proceed with that.
Then I think we're making progress.
Yes.
Here's what I understand, everybody. This is, it says there's things that are in disrepair. Now, I'm going to say that for the things that aren't part of the building you're taking down, you're telling me you've got most of them fixed already.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm going to give you 30 days. For those items, folks, that are not associated with the part of the parcel that's being torn down. Y'all listening, city? Marion?
Yes, sir.
30 days for those things that are on the list that aren't part of the property that is being torn down.
Okay.
Okay? 30 days for that. As far as those items that are part, you know, of the property that's being torn down, just has to be done by the time of the expiration of the permit,
Okay.
demolition permit. Or a fine of $100 per day.
Thank you, sir.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, if I exceed the 6 months, then it's $100.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
But you got 30 days for the stuff that's inside, that's not part of the part you're taking down.
No, and I understand that, but most, like I said, most of them, I think like 95% already has been dealt with. Now, the soffit that you see there, that I'm going to have repaired. I'm going to repair that because naturally I want it to look presentable for my clientele to get more business, of course. So, like that wall that was the previous picture, I don't know what's wrong with that wall, but all that has been taken care of right now. The window, the soffit that needs there, you know, that's going to be replaced. That's going to be done. What I'm saying is I'm going to do everything.
I hear you.
In a proper amount of time.
I'm just writing down notes because I got to make the order.
Okay.
Okay, so the order is going to say, Mr. Nieves, just like it just got done, that, you know, there's all these repairs. Some of them are within the building not to be torn down. So you got 30 days. And you're saying you've almost done all those anyway. The other repairs are the deal with the property that you are tearing down. You just got to get those either fixed or removed by the end of the period of time that's your demolition permit.
Yes.
So if you just take down the building, you're in compliance.
I've been doing that.
Okay, all right. So, or there'd be a fine of $100 per day.
Yes.
Okay, next case is 22043, and this is a permit issue.
My name is Marion Liracy. I'm employed with the City of Deltona as Code Compliance Officer. This is in case reference to DL 22-043, City of Deltona versus Robert Nieves. Property address is 2838 Howland Boulevard. Parcel ID is 813-039-090-070. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance, Section 18-3, adopting the latest edition of Florida Building Code, Section 10.105.1, which states that any owner, authorized agent who intends to construct, enlarge, alter, repair, move, demolish, or change the occupancy of the building or structure, or to erect, install, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, convert, or replace any electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system, the installation of which is regulated by this code, or to cause any such work to be done, shall first make application to the building official and obtain the required permit. Corrective action for violation is that he needs to obtain a permit for the fence. All statutory requirements for this notification of this hearing have been met. Notice of hearing, notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall 10 days prior to this hearing. All evidence of this case, to include photographs of marked exhibits, submitted to Special Magistrate Clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day they were taken. There was a permit on file from April 2014. However, that permit has since expired. It just needs a final inspection.
So he doesn't need to get a new permit. He just has to call to get a final inspection. Is that correct?
That is, as far as I can tell, yes. The permit appears to conform with the survey.
And the city's requesting
30 days, $250 fine.
All right, Mr. Nieves, as I understand the city's position, that you built this fence some time ago, and you got a permit.
Yes, I got a permit. I had a 6-foot fence, and they wanted an 8-foot fence, and some landscaping and everything, and I did all that. I didn't know I had to do anything else, and because they came and
There's a final
inspected.
step. Just close the circle. There's a final step under the code. You got to get a final inspection.
Okay.
That's all you got to do.
And how would I do that?
You contact this nice young lady. She's going to give you the name and the phone number of the person to call, and they'll come out because there's a permit on file. It's just a final inspection.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you 30 days to do that. Shouldn't take more than a day or two, or a fine of $50 per day.
Yeah, I don't have to get any more permits for that.
That's what she's saying. Just need to get a final inspection.
Okey dokey.
Okay. Next is DL 22044. This is interior surfaces, same property owner.
My name is Marion Laracy. I'm employed with the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This case is in reference to DL 22-044, City of Deltona versus Robert Nieves. Property address is 2838 Howland Boulevard. Parcel ID is 813-039-090-070. This is in violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-5, which is adopting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 305.3, which states interior surfaces, including windows and doors, shall be maintained in good and clean sanitary condition. Peeling, chipping, flaking, and abraded paint shall be repaired, removed, or covered. Cracked or loose plaster, decaying wood, and defective surfaces conditions shall be corrected. Corrective action is to repair or replace interior surface, obtain permit if necessary. Statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent by mail to the property owner at the address listed with property appraisers 10 days prior to this hearing. All evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to a special magistrate. I certify any photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. In the interior of the building, of the main building, there's some holes in the ceiling. There's paint chipping where they, I guess, where the office area is that needs to be fixed and repainted.
Yeah, I've seen the photos. Let me ask this question. Is this a different list than the list in DEL 22042?
This has to do with
disrepair?
interior walls.
So
interior.
There's no overlap?
Correct.
Because I don't want to come up with another case when it's the same problem.
Correct.
So these are the things that you're asking this property owner to do for case DEL 22040 are different, totally different list.
Correct.
Than 22042.
Yes.
Okay. And are any of these problems on, like we were talking about before, on the part that he's taken down?
No. This is the main part where the office is.
So what is the city's request?
30 days or $250 fine.
Sir, did you understand the questions that I asked her and Mr. Nieves?
Yes.
I asked her some questions.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Her.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I asked her some questions. I'm going to go over them with you now. What I wanted to make sure that this case is unique and different than the earlier one. She said that these are totally different issues and that they're, cleanup issues on the interior walls and things like that. Holes, bruises, cuts, whatever. And this is different. This is new.
Yes, sir.
And she's saying 30 days to fix those. And maybe you've already made a lot of those. I don't know.
They're already done.
30 days. Then all you need, if they're already done, you just need to call this young lady. She'll come out, she'll inspect it, and you're good to go.
Okay.
All right? So I'm going to find that as of tonight, I don't know that they are. They're not in violation. I'm going to give you 30 days to come into compliance or $100 per day.
All right.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next case is DEL 22045. This is a permit for a retaining wall. Thank you. Before we get going, I have a question and maybe a request. Is there anyone in this room that is in charge of the thermostat that could maybe turn it down a little cooler? You all understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a little bit warmer.
A little toasty. And we're not done. And I'm going to impose on the city to have a little higher electric bill. And I think the city's good for it. Go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you. My name is Marion Laracy. I'm employed with the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This is in reference to case number DEL 22-045, Robert Nieves versus City of Deltona. Property address is 2838 Howland Boulevard. Parcel ID is 813-039-090-070. This is in reference to a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance, Section 18-3, adopting the latest edition of the Florida Building Code, Section 105.1, which states that any owner, authorized agent who intends to construct, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, demolish, or change the occupancy of the building or structure, or to erect, install, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, convert, or replace any electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system, the installation of which is regulated by this code, or to cause any such work to be done, shall first make application to the building official and obtain required permit. There was a stairwell there. He changed it to a retaining wall. All statutory requirements for the notification of this hearing have been met. Notice of hearing, notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with property appraisers. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall 10 days prior to this hearing. All evidence of this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits submitted to Special Magistrate Clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I've taken the day of. Again, he had a stairwell. The stairwell was in violation for no permit. He removed it and added the retaining wall. That's it's more than 24 inches high, so it requires a permit.
City's request.
30 days, $250.
So all this the gentleman needs to do is apply for and get a permit.
Correct.
Okay.
Or lower the wall to 24 inches.
Or he can remove the wall.
Correct.
Right, okay.
Lower it, right? 24 inches?
Lower it to 24 inches, yes.
I could do that. Because what was there before was railroad logs, and they were deteriorated. That's why I put those blocks. I didn't know I needed a permit to just for my landscaping, but I'll take 2 blocks
Just
down.
you take it down to 24 inches, then he doesn't need the permit, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
No problem.
So that's one of the solutions, 30 days to do that.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the order, 30 days to comply or $100 per day. And, however you want to comply, I'm not telling you how to comply, but it's good that we're having this discussion tonight. It creates a way, a methodology for you to reach an agreement with the city on how you can comply. Fair enough?
Fair enough. One question. So if I want to maintain it that high, I need a permit?
Yes.
And a permit, what does it consist? Do I have to hire an engineer to say that that's correct, to hold that amount of dirt or something?
I'm not aware that you'll need an engineer. I think if you just...
What do I need, just a permit?
Yeah, you will need a building permit for the installation of that wall.
That's it?
Yeah, and you may need some sort of engineer statement depending on what the load-bearing requirements are of that wall.
For that height, which is probably around 30 inches high.
Again, I would think that you'd be better served consulting a contractor or a structural engineer.
It's money.
Okay. All right, so that's that case. We're going to move on to 22046, and this is a site plan review case, sir.
My name is Marion Laracy. I'm employed as City of Deltona Code and Compliance Officer. The case reference is DL 22-046, City of Deltona versus Robert Nieves. Property address is 2844 Howland Boulevard. Parcel ID is 813-039-090-060. This is in violation of Section 75-2A1, which states the following development activities shall require a DRC site plan review unless exempted by Section 75-4C, and shall provide the information required per Section 75-4D, residential or non-residential. Corrective action is to complete the plan review to obtain the permit for the combination of lots process. Statutory requirements for this notification of hearing have been met. Notice of hearing, notice of violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at the City Hall 10 days prior to this hearing. All evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to Special Magistrate Clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day they were taken. He went to a development review committee meeting and was advised and given written explanation as what needs to be done in order to combine the lots. If that's what he plans to do, he would need to do a site review.
Let me back up. What's driving this case is that the assumption that these lots need to be combined.
Because he's using the vacant lot.
If I may interject.
I was hoping you would.
Yeah,
Yes.
The combination of lots is just a small component of the overall site plan review process. As we will learn a few cases later, I don't mean to steal Officer Laracy's thunder, but we're dealing with an expansion onto an adjacent lot that includes unpermitted structures and also unpermitted outdoor storage activities. This is a commercial use, and all these commercial uses, whether they're new or redeveloped or expanded, need to go through the city's site plan review process.
Okay.
As we talked at the DRC, the applicant did come to the DRC pre-application meeting.
He did?
Yes, he did. And I think that, just to reiterate what we discussed at the DRC meeting, the applicant would be better served, or to accomplish this, it is recommended that they hire the services of a civil engineer to do the design work on this to comply with the city's land development regulations.
All right, so you're still a Nazi. Say that that's what this gentleman wants to do. What are we looking at for a time to accomplish this whole process that's the subject of case number 046?
Right now, if he were to come in and with a sufficient application, we should be able to process this thing in at least 3 months.
Okay, but how long would it take him to get that application that you
Probably right now with the application and so forth and hiring the engineer, I would say at least to benchmark this thing, at least 60 days.
So 2 plus 3 is 5. That's 5 months you just told me that would take for this property to come into compliance.
Yep.
In this case, 22046.
Yep.
Do you understand what I just said, sir?
Yes. When I met with them, not knowing that I had to combine the two lots, they asked me to get a survey, which I did get a survey. And we met out there in the site, and looking at the building, they suggested that, we had to deal with the part of the building that was in that side so I said, okay, I'll tear it down. And they suggested, more or less I understood that would be a compliance to getting the two lots together after I get the survey. The survey, I got it right here also. I think I presented it to somebody at the city.
Let me stop you. Let me ask the gentleman from the city. Would there be a way to avoid having to go through this whole process that we just described that takes 5 months by them tearing stuff down?
And restoring it back to its existing state and not using it for outdoor storage and any other activities.
Do you understand what he just said, sir?
I'm sorry.
You can't just, what he's saying is if you want to avoid going through the process of spending the money and hiring an engineer and going through the site plan review process, you can avoid that if you want by tearing down the improvements that are on that extra lot and then restoring it to the way it was and not using it for commercial purposes again.
That's correct.
So that's your option B. That's what's behind the door that Jane is standing next to.
I don't understand it because what I understood was that I had to tear down that part that infringes in that lot. Once I did that and had the survey, because that storage place that I have is just a tarp covering my inventory of tires. It's not permanent, it's movable, you know? And so I thought that I had, that could be allowed because it's not a building, it's just a tarp.
Okay, I'm going to let him answer that because I don't know.
Yeah, again, we're talking about outdoor storage associated with a commercial use that needs to be processed and reviewed to the county, to the city's site plan review process.
So to avoid that, what I'm hearing him say is you got to stop using that extra lot for anything that has to do with the commercial use. That's
Cessation of all use of that area.
What?
You would not be able to use any part of that area.
So you got two options. You go through the site plan process, or, you know, there's a line between lot 1 and lot 2. And anything that's on lot 2, you just got to take everything off it and not use it for commercial purposes. I'm not telling you which option to choose. I'm trying to help you understand the two options.
But I don't. In other words, I don't understand it because as I understood, in order to combine the two lots, I just needed a survey and to knock that building out. Or get an engineer to approve the building.
I'm going to let him answer that.
And then now, you're saying that...
Again, as we've explained, the combination of lots of record is only one component of this overall site plan review process. And the combination of lots is not going to absolve the requirement to engage in the site plan review process if the intent is to use this area.
What do I need to do to use that area?
Okay, here's the thing. We're not going to get this done right now. So what I'm hearing, I'm not telling you that you can't solve this problem, but we're not going to be able to sit down and work through this. This doesn't make sense to do this right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 5 months. The property's not in compliance. I'm going to give you 5 months to come into compliance. You got two options to do that. One is you go through the site plan review process. I don't know if you want to do that or not. That's your choice. But the other option is to take everything off of the extra lot and don't use it for commercial purposes. Now, I understand you don't quite get that, but that's not my job. Let's not try to fix that tonight, okay? I'm going to give you 5 months to comply or a fine of $200 per day.
One question, sir.
Yep.
When I combine the lots, right? Let's say the lot is completely empty and I want to combine it. I can't combine it to use it for commercial purpose?
Yeah, but you're going to have to go through the site plan review process. That's where you got to get the engineer and spend some money. And I'm getting the theme here that you're trying to avoid spending money tonight.
I don't have any more money.
I get it. But there's consequences of not spending the money. You got to choose option B. Okay, so the next case is 22047. And that's a permit for attached structure.
This is in reference to the structure that he's actually demolishing. So did we want to continue with it or withdraw it? Okay.
Okay. The first good news you've received all night, case number 22047 is withdrawn because it's the property, it's the parcel, the little structure you're taking down, okay? Okay. Next is 22048, permit for in-ground sewage.
Can I ask another question?
Does it have to do with case 22048?
To do with the lots. So the survey that I got is obsolete, I didn't need it?
I can't answer that. Here's what I want you to do.
Did I need that survey?
I have a copy of that meeting if he wants it, the minutes.
Yeah, we're not going to solve that tonight. Here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Officer,
Yes,
what
sir.
I want you to do is try to set up a time, or at least give him an opportunity to come and meet with building officials, the appropriate building officials, and with someone from code enforcement to deal with what we have done tonight and what we're going to continue to do tonight.
Yes, sir.
I think everything is pretty straightforward with the exception, so far, with the exception of DEL 22046, which is a site plan review. That's the one I think the gentleman is having some concerns about, and that's fine, but that's something that I would suggest respectfully that you either need to get into a room with a whole bunch of papers and pictures or go out on the site. And we're neither of those places tonight.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we are now on 048. This one has to do with in-ground sewage permit.
My name is Marion Laracy. I'm employed with the City of Deltona's Code Compliance Officer. This is in reference to case number DL 22-47, City of Deltona versus Robert Nieves. Property address is 2844 Howland Boulevard. Parcel ID is 813-039-090-060. This is in violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-3, adopting the latest edition of Florida Building Code Section 105.1, which states that any owner authorized agent who intends to construct, enlarge, alter, repair, move, demolish, or change the occupancy of a building or structure, or to erect, install, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, convert, or replace any electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system, the installation which is regulated by this code, or to cause any such work to be done, shall first make application to the building official and obtain the required permit. Corrective action is to obtain a permit for the sewage.
We got any pictures?
I do. Don't know where they're at.
I'm working on it, sir. I apologize. There's some older programs from this specific computer because it's not used quite often.
Statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met. Notice of hearing, notice of violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with property appraiser's records. In addition to both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior. All evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day they were taken. It was noted that there was sewage coming up from the ground. I believe there's pictures in your exhibits from previous times that I was there. He did supposedly cap off that sewage pipe. However, he was told by our building official that he would need some sort of certified letter from a plumbing company to verify that that sewage pipe is capped off appropriately and up to code.
Is that different than a permit?
Correct.
Because the violation is for that they have to get a permit.
Or he can get a permit for it if he's going to continue to use it.
Okay, if he's going to continue to use it, he needs to get a permit.
Correct.
If he's not going to continue to use it, he just needs to get a letter from a plumber saying that it's been capped appropriately.
Correct.
Okay.
And we haven't received any permits or any letter from any plumbers confirming.
So what's the city's request?
30 days, or 90 days, actually, because this is on that vacant lot, or $250 fine.
And can you testify whether or not you believe there's any sewage coming up from that now?
I was there today, and it looked dry, appeared to be dry.
We got the photos?
We do not.
I apologize, sir. We couldn't get it to operate correctly.
Okay, let me ask this favor. I want the gentleman to have the opportunity to look at the photos, just like I've had the opportunity to look at the photos, so if you could show those, and then I'm going to need that back. I'm having the files provided to you, sir, so that if you would show him the exhibit that I looked at, which was the photos, so we will know that he has seen the photos that I've seen. That's what we're talking about in this case, sir.
Yes, and that was connected to the bathroom of that room that I'm demolishing.
Okay?
So that's been dealt with so far.
Okay.
So it's not in use because there's no toilet there or bathroom.
That's what I thought. So
Yeah,
you
exactly.
got to do one of two things.
Yeah, that's old, yeah.
Okay. So here's what the city's asking. And you're not going to get it, you don't want to get a permit for it, because you only need to get a permit if you're going to use it. You're not going to use it.
No.
So what it needs to be capped. And you need to get a letter from a plumber saying that it was capped the way you're supposed to cap a pipe. And you got to do that within 30 days.
All right.
Okay, so that seems pretty straightforward. Fair enough?
Yeah.
Okay. Next case, DEL, $100 per day,
90 days?
90 days. We're going to do that 90 days. Thank you. Not 30, 90 days, okay? 90 days.
4-8.
Next case is, thank you for that correction. 22049, this is a permit for a canopy. We're almost there.
Sure, use that one. My name is Marion Laracy. I'm employed with the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This is in reference to case number DL 22-049, City of Deltona versus Robert Nieves. Property address is 2844 Howland Boulevard. Parcel ID number is 813-039-090-060. This is in violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-3, adopting the latest edition of the Florida Building Code, Section 105.1, which states that any owner, authorized agent who intends to construct, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, demolish, or change the occupancy of the building or structure, or to erect, install, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, convert, or replace any electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system, installation of which is regulated by this code, or to cause any such work to be done, shall first make application to the building official and obtain the required permit. Statutory requirements for this notification of this hearing have been met. Notice of hearing, notice of violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with property appraisers' records, in addition to both notices posted at City Hall 10 days prior to this hearing. All evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I have taken and observed the day that they were taken. Vacant lot. This is a vacant lot. This is a structure canopy that's put into the ground. If he's going to continue to use it, he needs to obtain a permit. If he decides to, I guess it's part of the combination of lot process for the site review.
All right, help me out here. I gave the gentleman 5 months to deal with the site plan review.
Yes, sir.
What I'm hearing is that this is kind of a part and parcel of that.
Well, yes, there's several cases on this vacant
So are
lot.
the options basically the same as that case? If he wants to keep that, he's going to need to go through the site plan review process.
That is
correct.
correct, yes.
Or he can take it all down.
That's correct. That is an option.
So is the city's position I should give him 5 months to do that, like I gave him 5 months in the other one?
Yes, I believe that would be a good idea.
Because it's part of it. And I don't want to be inconsistent.
Right, it is part and parcel of that site plan.
And it looks like it's been there a while.
Yes.
Yeah, it has.
All right. So I asked the city some questions. Remember we went back to that site plan issue, and you had two options? One was to go through the site plan review process, which you're going to spend some money, hire an engineer, combine the lots, and do all that fancy stuff. Or option two, just take everything off that extra lot. I'm hearing that's part of that. You understand what I'm saying? So what I'm inclined to do, sir, is give you the same 5 months so you can make that decision about which you want to do. You understand what I'm saying? Are you okay with that?
Well, I got to sit down and see what I could do, what I need to do, because I need that for the inventory. That's my inventory.
Yep.
That's my bread and butter right there, under that tarp. And so if I take that tarp down and take the wood, I still have the tires there.
I think it's important to keep in mind that without going through the site plan review, the tires cannot be there either.
That's the next case.
That's the next case.
Yeah, look, this is related. I'm going to do the same thing as I did in the earlier case. And that is, I'm going to give you 5 months, because it's all interrelated.
Yes.
And I'm not going to give you 30 days to remove the tarp and the tires when that's inconsistent with the 5 months on the other one. So, but you got to do something, because that is part of the problem in the site plan case. So I'm going to give you 5 months or $100 per day. And what and the next case is going to be the same. So what I'm going to ask you to do is get with Officer Laracy, and she's going to give you some suggestions about getting together, and so that you understand exactly what these two options are that I've been belaboring tonight, okay? And then you do whichever one you want, but you're going to have to do something, or you can start paying $100 a day.
Yeah, well, my goal is to combine the both one, the two lots, so I could use it for commercial purpose.
Well, it sounds like you're going to have to spend some money.
Yeah, I guess.
I know, and you don't want to do that, but it
Well, I
sounds
don't
like...
have it, but I'll have it, praise God, I'll have it somehow.
Okay, all right, so
If it's not $20.
the last case is DEL 22050, which I think we've talked about to some degree. It's prohibited storage of materials.
My name is Marion Laracy. I'm employed with City of Deltona as Code Compliance Officer. This is in reference to case number DEL 22-050, City of Deltona versus Robert Nieves. Property address is 2844 Howland Boulevard. Parcel ID number is 813-039-090-060. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 38-114, which states that storage of building materials, commercial, industrial equipment, materials, objects, waste relating to commercial or industrial uses, or any equipment, materials, or objects that are not incidental to a residential use shall be prohibited. Statutory requirements for this notification of hearing have been met. Notice of hearing, notice of violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed of property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All evidence of this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to Special Magistrate Clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day they were taken.
All right, here's my question on this. Are we talking about this stuff?
All this stuff.
Is this on the extra lot, or is this on the primary?
This is on the extra lot.
Okay. So are we talking about the same solution here?
Yes.
Okay, so, Ms. Nieves, this is the last case. This is the one dealing with the 22050, prohibited storage of materials. And what I'm hearing them say is this is on your extra lot, the one that relates back to the need to go through that site plan. So just like the tarp, my inclination is to say, let's just wrap it all into one, give you 5 months, because you're going to need to make the same decision as to this outdoor storage that you're making with the tarp, et cetera. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to find that's in violation. You got 5 months to choose and do whichever option 1 or option 2, or $100 per day. Okay? So, as hard as it is to believe, that's it. So you're done.
Thank you. I'll take care of everything.
I know you will.
I'm doing that right now, I've got a lot of things accomplished.
I got it.
So far.
And I appreciate that. And you're doing a lot of catch-up.
Yes.
There's been a lot of days, a lot of months, a lot of years that have gone by, and it's accumulated to what you've got today. So just work with this nice young lady and the gentleman from building department. I really think you won't have to deal with me again, okay?
Thank you.
All right, y'all take care.
All right, so what do I do now? Just wait for you?
We're going to take about a 2-minute break, folks. I think we're done with everybody that's here. So we've been going at it for about for just almost 3 hours now. So just going to take a 2-minute break. I got to stretch.
Turn here, don't you, boys?
Yeah. thank God. So this is phone, then these guys, and then that guy, and then we're done. Okay.
Thanks, Chief.
Who is it? Is it this Mr. Florio?
His name is Sam Florio. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Let me turn it down a bit because it's going to be loud.
Hello?
Good evening, Sam. This is Myron San Miguel, Administrative Supervisor with City of Deltona. We spoke earlier on the phone. This is your call-in for your special magistrate case, DEL 22-063 for 1333 North Fowler Drive. You're on speakerphone with Special Magistrate William R. Reichman, okay?
Okay, hello.
Hey, Mr. Florio, my name's Bill Reichman. We're going to have you hear your case now. It's DEL 22063, and the way this works, Mr. Florio, is the city goes first. They've got the burden to establish that, exactly what we're here on tonight. This case deals with the property at 133 North Fowler Drive. I believe you're the owner. And it has to do with the City of Deltona Code, Section 18.5 and Section 3027. Has something to do with the dock, and I don't know. When you hear it, I'll hear it. So the city's going to go first, and then I'm going to ask you some questions, and we'll try to find a way to work this out, okay?
Okay.
Okay, we're going to go first with the city's representative. That's Officer Steve Brockhoff.
My name is Steve Brockhoff, employed with City of Deltona as enforcement officer. This will be case number DEL 22-063, City of Deltona versus San Florio. Property address is 1333 North Fowler Drive, Deltona. The parcel ID number is 813-053-240-220. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-5, adopting the latest edition of International Property Maintenance Code, Section 302.7, which states all accessory structures, including detached garages, fences, walls, shall be maintained in good repair and sound structure, and that's to include a dock, as it's also an accessory structure. Statutory requirements for this notification of hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified, mailed to the property owner at the address listed in the property appraiser's records. In addition, the notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days before the hearing. All evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the code board clerk. I certify any and all photographs.
Hang on. He's saying he can't hear anything. Is there a way we can fix that?
Sir, can you hear me talk?
I hear you perfect.
You can hear me?
Come on up here. And
Okay.
Steve, put your case up here.
We'll put you on this microphone.
We're going to start over again, sir, so you can hear it, okay?
Okay.
Sorry about that. He's going to come up and sit right next to the phone, and then you'll be able to hear him, all right?
Sounds good.
Yes, sir.
You can talk right now. It's already on.
If you just introduce yourself again, and we'll go through it.
My name is Steve Brockhoff. I'm employed with the City of Deltona as enforcement officer. This will be case number DEL 22-063.
Hang on, Steve. Can you hear him now?
I can.
Okay, a little slower.
The City of Deltona versus San Florio. Property address is 1333 North Fowler Drive, Deltona, Florida. Parcel ID is 813-053-240-220. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-5, which adopting the latest edition International Property Maintenance Code, Sections 302.7, which states all accessory structures, including detached garages, fences, walls, shall be maintained and kept in good repair and sound structural conditions, and this includes a dock. Statutory requirements of the notification have been met by notice of hearing, and notices of violation were sent certified, mailed to the property owner at the address listed at the property appraiser's records. In addition, the notices were posted on the property at City Hall at least 10 days before the hearing. All evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the code board clerk. I certify that any and all photographs be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day that they were taken. And this case began July 27th when the city received a complaint from the neighbor on the right of Mr. Florio regarding the dock and disrepair. There has been a previous case involved with this, and Mr. Florio removed the decking and expressed difficulty in removing the rest of it. The building official we had at the time decided to not continue with litigation at that point. Most of the dock was on Mr. Florio's solid ground. However, since then, we've gotten a different building official, a new complaint, and the water has risen. And now, as you can see, it's possibly a navigational hazard, possibly now. Mr. Florio expressed to me that he needed time to remove it because the ground was being soft. I gave him time, and at this particular point, this is about as dry as I think Florida's going to get, so it would be optimum for him to finish removing it.
What's the city's request?
The city's request is to give him 30 days to comply and remove the structure before a fine of $100 a day.
All right, Mr. Florio, if you could just give me your name and your address, please, to start out.
Sam Florio, 1333 North Fowler Drive is the property that he's talking about.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Florio, we made it so you could hear Mr. Brockhoff, who's the code enforcement officer, in his presentation. Sounds like that it's just a matter of what time you need to bring the property into compliance. And he's saying 30 days, and I'm interested in hear your side of it as well.
Okay, well, sort of like what he was saying is semi-true. I don't understand the part where he says there was a different violation with the dock before. However, this is basically what's taking place. Give me a sec, I have to focus on a piece of paper. Okay, I'm not saying that I don't want to remove it and I'm not going to remove it, but under the circumstances, Mother Nature was keeping me from removing all of it before my neighbor complained, who basically complained because I complained about something they had over there. The dock was already being removed, and then Steve came out and seen that it was being removed, but all of it couldn't be removed at that time because I was doing a little bit by a little bit at a time. So basically, the whole thing is removed except for some 4x4s. After I met with Steve, I was able to go there and remove some of the 4x4s that were on the land side. And the dock basically was put in the land, and it only extends into the water 3 feet. However, with the water level being exceptionally high, it looks like it's further out, and it's not, so I don't see how it's in the way of anything. I'm just waiting. The way it is now, I drove my truck onto the grass and got stuck because the grass all the way in the backyard and even in the front yard is soggy. In other words, you sink into it. The city of Deltona right now is putting in all new pipe out there on the main road for drainage. They're doing something. I don't know exactly what they're doing. So I spoke with the City of Deltona's Stormwater Division, and they told me that there's a weir, W-E-I-R pipe with a slot in it that allows the water from Lake Gleason to drain into Lake Monroe, and they can regulate it. All the people on that lake had complained many a times that they're keeping the water level too high because it's making everybody's property soggy, where even when I drive my lawnmower in the backyard, if you go too close to the lake, you're going to get stuck. That's how bad it is right now at the moment. So the 4x4s that are 3 feet off of the land are actually, when the water comes up about a few inches to a foot, it really comes up on the land even more than that. My fence is underwater and other things are under the water. So I can't really wade into the water up to my neck to try to remove them. They're easy to remove. If I get a rope on it, I can pull them out. I did that with the front ones, but I got stuck doing it, and I cannot get the rope onto the second ones until that water level goes down.
All right, let me ask this question.
Remove it.
Yeah, Mr. Flory, I'm going to interrupt you, and I want to ask a question of so we're all on the same page here. I'm going to ask a question of the city officer, Steve Brokoff. Ms. Brokoff, for compliance, what would have to be taken out? Because I think there's an impression that all that needs to be taken out is the 2x4s.
If you look at the picture, although this was taken earlier this month, I was down there this afternoon at 11 o'clock, and it is exactly the same. There are some, what looks like railings, and there's 4x4s that are protruding from the water.
All right, so we're looking at the 2x4s, which is the decking, some railings, and then
railings. He had to remove the decking, and that's why they decided.
Okay, so the railings and then the posts that are in the ground. Yeah. So I just want you to understand the city's position is that in order to come into compliance, you need to take down the railings and the posts as well. Okay.
I agree with that.
Okay. So my question, really, where we are right now, is how much time do you think you're going to need to be able to accomplish that?
Well, if we have a dry spell, like we're coming into the hotter months over here, the water will evaporate quicker, and then I would be able to do it. As it is right now, you know, all shrubbery and trees, or not trees, bushes, all that's in the way, and even though it looks shallow there, as soon as you step in the water, you actually sink into the mud your feet. So you really, like, if you try to pull one foot out, the other one sinks in further, so you really can't get to it at the moment. So that's my holdup on that. I want it out. I want all that out.
Sure.
But when Steve came up, it just so happened it was in the time period where we had a lot of rain, and the lake, maybe other lakes too, were extremely high. And it's just not the lake being high, it affects the property and the land itself. And it's, you know, I would have it out right now if it was that easy. It sounds easy to do, but it just hasn't worked out to where you could just get a rope on it and pull it out, because you can't get back there to do it at the moment without getting stuck.
Okay. Well, here's what I'm going to find, Mr. Florio. I'm going to find that the property is in violation because the dock is in disrepair and needs to be removed. I'm not going to agree with the city that it needs to be done in 30 days. I'm going to say it needs to be done in 90 days. And that'll give you a chance to either for the property to dry out a little bit, or you can go get a boat or hire someone with a boat to come out there and take it out. I think 90 days is reasonable, and if it's not out in 90 days, then the fine will start at $100 per day. Do you understand my ruling?
Okay. I do. Can I add one more thing?
Absolutely.
Okay, you just mentioned the boat. When I spoke with the city stormwater guy, and I forget what department, the other city department, when I was trying to go over what's taking place there, because Steve had said earlier, and he said it to me once before, you can always get a barge to do it. Well, on Lake Gleason, you really don't have a boat ramp. You got this little area that is a little sandy area to where people could launch like john boats or a little ski boat. And to even do that, when you back your truck up, your back wheels are in the water to get a boat in the water, and you got to rock the boat to get it off. You're not going to be able to get, like Steve was saying, a barge in there to chew anything. So that's that's like, you know, it's just far-fetched to do something like that.
Well, that's why I'm giving,
I agree with you that I'm going to get it out, but Mother Nature has a lot to do with it.
and that's why I'm giving you 90 days, sir. So if you can just continue to work with Mr. Brokoff, Officer Brokoff, and when you have it removed, hopefully within the 90 days, then you'll be in compliance and there won't be a fine. Okay?
All right.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
You bet. Okay, all right. Thank you. Looks like, I'm going back on my agenda now, because we're done with all of that. I've got one case under old business, DEL 21169. It's a Massey case. Officer Brokoff. Damage exterior services, and I do not believe anyone's here, and I haven't been told to call anybody.
Trying to, there we go. Does it minimize this? Just
Escape. Escape.
Don't really need pictures, I just need to know dates.
69?
Steve, start reading.
169. I'm Steve Brokoff with City of Deltona Enforcement Services. This is case number DEL 21-169, City of Deltona versus Van Johnson Jr. Property address is 802 Amadon Street. Parcel ID number is 813-020-100-160. This is violation of City of Deltona Ordinance 18-5, adopting the latest edition of International Property Maintenance Code, Section 304-2, which states that all exterior surfaces, including but not limited to doors, door and window frames, cornices, porches, trim, balconies, decks, fences, shall be kept in sound working condition and maintained in good repair. Exterior surfaces, other decay-resistant woods shall be protected from elements and decay by painting or other protective coverings or treatments. This case began, notice of hearing and notice of violation were sent certified mail to the address list of the property appraiser's records, and in addition, both notices were posted on the property of the City Hall at least 10 days before the hearing. All evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the code board clerk. I certify that all the photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day they were taken. This case began on April 25th when Officer Muse, I guess, noticed the exposed wood and missing paint. He left a courtesy door hanger, spoke with the owner at the time. Then I was asked, I think he was on vacation or something, I was asked to take it over and follow up on it. On May 30th, and then in the process, I gave them, made contact, gave them 45 days to comply. They had some issues with money, with several things, and we extended the time. Then we set up for a code board. They assumed and that apparently we were only talking about the front. This is what was initially what it looked like. This is what it looks like as of Monday morning. They did an excellent job on the front. However, they didn't do the sides. So and we've been in contact, and actually they've talked to the deputy director, and they would request 21 days to finish the project.
What was the fine amount?
Actually, we had continued this. It actually was never heard. So there was no fine initially. I don't know how this got into the Massey, but there was no.
It's not a Massey case.
No, it's not a Massey case.
Okay. It was under old business.
It was. There was some confusion. I apologize for that because the day of the special magistrate hearing, requested extra time, stating that they had gotten in touch with a church group that was going to help them. So we...
So this is just going to be, the property's in violation, 21 days to comply.
And $50 a day we'd request if they don't.
Okay, that helps. Okay, I've been finding that they're in violation at the time of the hearing tonight. Give them 21 days to finish, bring the property to compliance, or a fine of $50 per day.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so let me make sure where we are. Good, yep, that matches. Okay, we got, it looks like 3 cases dealing with the same property, and that's 2751 Summerfield Street. The cases are 22057, 058, and 059. Roof and disrepair, a permit, and maximum 2 vehicles. Officer Muse.
Okay, thank you. My name is Dennis Muse. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. My credentials are on file with the city. Case number DEL 22-057, City of Deltona versus Joshua Duncan. Location address is 2751 Summerfield Street, Deltona, Florida 32738. Parcel ID number is 8130-432-40060. Violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-5, which states that the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 304.7, which states the roof and flashing shall be sound, tight, and not have defects that emit rain. Corrective actions: repair or replace the roof, gutters, and drainage. Statutory requirements: a notice of hearing was sent certified mail 10 days prior to the hearing date, posted at the property address listed with the tax collector's office. The notice of hearing was also posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to the hearing. All the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the Code Board hearing clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day they were taken. This proactive case started on 11/15/21. I found this violation that is plainly seen driving east on Newmark Drive. A notice of violation was mailed out the next day on 12/30/21. I received a call from the owner requesting more time. To this date, the roof is still in disrepair. The city is willing to give Mr. Duncan 30 days to come into compliance or a fine to start in the amount of $100 per day.
So ordered. Next case is DEL 22058. Same property address, same property owner, permit.
Okay, my name is Dennis Muse. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a compliance officer, and my credentials are on file with the city. This is case number DEL 22-058, City of Deltona versus Joshua Duncan, 2751 Summerfield Street, Deltona, Florida 32738. Parcel ID number at 8130-432-40060. Violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-3, adopting the latest edition of the Florida Building Code, Section 105.1, which states that any owner, authorized agent who intends to correct or to construct, enlarge, alter, repair, move, demolish, or change the occupancy of a building or structure, or to erect, install, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, convert, or replace any electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system, the installation of which is regulated by this code, or to cause any such work to be done, shall first make application to the building official and obtain the required permit. The corrective action, a permit must be obtained for the fence. The statutory requirement, notice of hearing was sent certified mail 10 days prior to the hearing date, posted at the property address listed with the tax collector's office, and the notice of hearing was also posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All the evidence in the case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the Code Board clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day they were taken. This case started on the 1st of January, 1/5/22. I found this violation when I went to this location to do a site visit for the roof. A courtesy notice was left. A section of the fence was in disrepair that the owner was notified and had corrected by removing that line of fencing. The owner, Mr. Duncan, then replaced the fencing but moved the placement from the front corner of the dwelling to the rear corner. A notice of violation was mailed out on 1/18/22, and as of this date, no permit has been obtained. The city is asking for 30 days or a fine of $100 a day.
So ordered. Next case on this property is DEL 22059. Same property address, same property owner, maximum of 2 vehicles. Before we get into that one, I just want to ask, have you, I know you had initial conversations with this property owner. Any recent conversations?
His biggest reason that he's not home that much. He's away doing his job, which is construction.
Okay.
That's it is.
Okay.
Okay, my name is Dennis Muse. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. My credentials are on file with the city. Case number DEL 22059, City of Deltona versus Joshua Duncan. Location address is 2751 Summerfield Street, Deltona, Florida 32738. Parcel ID number 8130-432-40060. Violation of City of Deltona Ordinance, Section 6618H. Restrictions on trucks and other vehicles, which states a maximum of 2 vehicles may be parked in the side or rear yard. Corrective actions to reduce the number of vehicles in the side and rear yard to a maximum of 2 vehicles. Statutory requirements. A notice of hearing was sent certified mail 10 days prior to the hearing date and posted at the property address list with the tax collector's office. The notice of hearing was also posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to the hearing. All the evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the Code Board hearing clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. This case was a proactive case that started in November 15th of 21. A notice of violation was mailed out the next day, stopped back 2 weeks later, not seeing any change. A notice of hearing was posted on 2/9/22. And as you see by the photos, this became a case due to the fence falling down enough to see the vehicles in the rear yard. On the day of the posting, the notice of hearing, a gate on the right side of the property was open enough to see 3 additional vehicles, so a plus or minus of 7 vehicles were noticed. As of 2/22, it appears work is being done to correct a violation. The fence that was put up without the permit was taken down, and it appears that he's pulling the excess number of vehicles out. 3 of them were still on the side of the house. There were still 4, 2 trucks and 2 trailers in the front of the house. So at this point, it appears he's getting something done.
He's still in violation.
But he's still in violation at this point. So we're asking again 30 days and $100 a day after.
So ordered.
Thank you.
Okay. Last but not least, 3 cases dealing with 1299 Fountainhead Drive. These are DEL 22060, 22061, and 22062. And we'd be going home, except it's your 3 cases.
My name is Taylor Sukup. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case number DEL 22060. The City of Deltona versus Vermont LLC. The property address is 1299 Fountainhead Drive, Deltona 32725. The parcel ID number is 813010190030. This is a violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance, Section 18-5, adopting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 302.7, which states all accessory structures, including detached garages, fences, walls, shall be maintained and kept in good repair and sound structural condition. The corrective action for said violation is to repair or remove the structure, fence in disrepair. The statutory requirements for the notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner. the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photos, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any photos to be true and all and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day they were taken. While addressing other violations, I noticed a fence in disrepair. I posted notice of violation. Owner did make contact. I gave owner time to comply. However, the property is still in violation. The city would like to request 30 days for the property to come into compliance for $100 per day to be imposed until such time that the property owner has been notified of city compliance.
So ordered. Next case is DEL 22061, same property address, same property owner, permit for back porch.
My name is Taylor Sukup. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case number DEL 22061, the City of Deltona versus Vermont LLC. Their property address is 1299 Fountainhead Drive. The parcel ID is 813-010-190030. This is the violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance, Section 18-3, adopting the latest of the Florida Building Code, Section 105.1, which states any owner, authorized agent who intends to construct, enlarge, alter, repair, move, demolish, or change the occupancy of a building or structure, or to erect, install, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, convert, or replace any electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system installation which is regulated by this code to cause any work to be done shall first made the application to the building official and obtain the permit required. Corrective action for said violation is to obtain a permit, replace the sliding glass doors required, or bring the porch up to code in regards with exterior walls. Applications must be submitted to the City of Deltona, 2345 Providence Boulevard. The structures must meet all requirements of the city ordinance and be approved of final inspection. Contact our office with the permit number when attained. The statutory requirements for this notification have been met by the notice of hearing and code violations sent to the certified mail, the property owner, the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All this evidence in this case, including the photographs I have marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. This case is the result of a complaint on November 23rd, 2021. The sliding glass doors were removed from the sunroom to add living space with no permit. Initial contact was made, but the property is still in violation. The city would like to request 30 days to for the property to come into compliance, or a fine of $100 per day to be imposed until such time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
So ordered. I do have a question. Looks like that, you're able to get into the property. Some of those photos are from inside?
Yeah, those are tenants. So
got it. Have you heard from the owner?
At first, he sounded like he was going to be cooperative. He was talking about fixing the things and telling me about contractors and things like that, and then I have not been able to get a hold of him since.
Got it. Okay. All right, last case. 22060, same property address, same property owner, permit for enclosed garage. I think I know what you're going to tell me.
My name is Taylor Sukup. I am employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case number DEL 220-062, the City of Deltona versus Vermont LLC. The property address is 1299 Fountainhead Drive. The parcel ID is 813010190030. This is a violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance, Section 18-3, adopting the latest Florida Building Code, Section 105.1, which states that any owner, authorized agent who intends to construct, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, demolish, or change the occupancy of a building or structure, or to install, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, or convert or replace any electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system in the installation of which regulated by this code, or to cause any work to be done, shall first make application to the building official and obtain a required permit. The corrective action for said violation is to obtain a permit for enclosed garage. The statutory requirements for the notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mail. Both property owner and address have listed with the property appraisers and records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked with exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed, that they either were taken. This case was initiated by a complaint on November 23rd, 21. Door hanger was given, as well as the posting of notice of violation. Owner did make contact. I gave him time to comply. However, the property is still in violation. The city would like to request 30 days for the property to come into compliance, or a fine of $100 per day to be imposed until such time that the owner has notified the city of compliance.
So ordered.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. And as far as my agenda goes, we're done. Yeah. We are adjourned. That's okay. Someone had to.